Back at Ford Field is sold out, at least Ford Field. Fifth all-time preseason meeting between the Lions and the Jets alongside Rob Rubik. I'm Matt Shepard, the third member of our broadcast team. Our friend Tom Lydon on the sidelines. Tom?
Matt, good to see you. Rob, good to see you as well. And you know, last year at this time, some of us kind of chuckled when Calvin Johnson said he was aiming for 2,000 receiving yards in a single season. Well, guess what? He came pretty darn close. Finished the year with 1,964 yards. Broke the record in the second to last game against the Falcons here on December 22nd. And look at the elite company. You know, you have to remind yourself by looking at this list at just how effective he was last year. Passing Jerry Rice at number 2. Look at the names. Isaac Bruce, Marvin Harrison, Torrey Holt, all among the top 8. And then number 7, of course, we're very familiar with Herman Moore. And don't forget that Calvin Johnson's 2011 season was the 8th best season of all time in terms of receiving yards. Now, he may not have as many receiving yards this year with a guy like Reggie Bush in the backfield, but he may even be more effective, more touchdowns, and they can be a little bit more versatile on offense. And it all starts here tonight. Looking forward to seeing this offense get the ball. Matt, back to you.
Yeah, most yards in a 2-year span in the history of the NFL, but what surprised most people, just 5 touchdowns. That will change this year. There are a lot more weapons, and they are better defensively. We'll soon find out how good they are in the preseason. Detroit has won the coin flip, and they have elected to receive. That means the Jets' Nick Folk will kick things deep. And the return game is one of those things, Rob Rubik, you have to take a look at. Michael Spurlock will get a shot here tonight. That is an open competition, and it must improve. Last year, Detroit ranked 29th in kickoff return average.
Hey, there's no way to put it, but they were brutal. You have to give your offense better starting field position, and someone like Michael Spurlock, who's going to be a bubble guy trying to make this team at the receiving position, this is an opportunity for him to make an early statement.
Yeah. They haven't scored a special teams touchdown in 2 straight years and 4 of the last 5. We're underway, and this one is deep and all the way through the back of the end zone. So that means Matthew Stafford and this electric offense that averaged 409 yards per game a year ago. That is 3rd in the NFL. Only New England and New Orleans. And a lot of it because he set an NFL record with 727 attempts. That's a lot of throws, Rob.
Yeah, you'd rather see more points. You want to be up there in the statistic that says how many points an offense scored. And the Lions are down a little bit in that, but obviously if you can move the ball down the field, it's going to give you a lot of opportunities.
Just 33 yards shy of his second consecutive 5,000-yard season. He'll operate out of the gun with a split backfield. Johnson is split wide to his right. He looks that way and tries to dump it off to Bush, and it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at the Lions starting offense, brought to you by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Rob talked in the pregame show about the right side of the offensive line. Well, we know this. Besides Calvin Johnson and Reggie Bush, Matthew Stafford should have a healthy Nate Burleson, who was injured a year ago. And then that offensive line that we were talking about, you'll see Dylan Gandy on the right side. You'll see Jason Fox, Corey Hilliard battling on the right tackle. Hilliard is in there right now at number 78 on the right side. And we have our first flag of the summer.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 95. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And how about the savvy of Dominic Raiola, the veteran center? He feels the pressure. He sees it jumping outside. He just quick snaps it. Quarterback Matthew Stafford was ready. So, you know, Dominic, a little bit long in the tooth, but he also put on a few pounds this year. And I talked to him. He said, you know, I got tired, Rubens, of being bull rushed by the 350-pound noseman. He put on about 20 to 25 pounds in the offseason. They think so help him.
It's going to help anchor those big guys inside a little bit more. An inside give. And Reggie Bush bounces into the outside, hurling his way to the 30-yard line on a first down. Talking to him this week, he was chomping at the bit. He couldn't wait to show Lions fans what he can do.
And if you want to endear yourself to the city of Detroit, your first carry in a preseason game, and you can give a little bit of effort here. Shows the type of speed that he can get to the edge, and this is preseason. Up and over, makes the first defender miss. That's a guy right now. He goes back in that locker room. I don't care if he carries the ball the rest of the game. He just made a lot of brownie points with his teammates.
Told me earlier in the week I didn't get beat up early in my career. Last 2 years in Miami is the first time I ever averaged 20 to 25 carries. He'll get a second straight carry here and go nowhere. David Harris made the tackle. Let's take a look at that Jets starting defense, brought to you by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. A 3-4 defense by this New York club that won 6 games a year ago, anchored by Muhammad Wilkerson. Best defensive lineman statistics under Rex Ryan since he's been in New York. 91 tackles, 33 quarterback hurries. David Harris in the 7th year out of the University of Michigan, the Grand Rapids native. 100 tackles in 5 of his last 6 years. And Antonio Cromartie anchors one of the defensive cornerback spots. A quick slant. Calvin Johnson has it to the 34-yard line.
A little different formation, different look for the Lions that time, Shep. They come out with twins, but Calvin Johnson normally split wide to the left. He's in the slot, and they take Reggie Bush, who we know is a versatile running back, that he's an excellent receiver. You know, Matthew Stafford was at a golf outing, and he said, people don't realize how good Reggie is in the receiving game. He's a route runner, and he has good hands.
Patrick Edwards wears number 83 in blue. He's split wide to the right for Stafford in an empty backfield. 4 wide receiver set on a 3rd down and 6. All kinds of time and incomplete, intended for Reggie Bush.
Pretty good job by former Michigan Wolverine David Harris, linebacker. That's a matchup you're looking at. You got Reggie Bush in the slot, and you get him manned up with a linebacker in David Harris. But Harris did a good job of keeping him in front of him, allowing Reggie to make his move before he committed defensively, and didn't give Matthew much of a window to throw the ball.
So we take a look at Detroit's 5th-round draft pick out of Appalachian State. Sam Martin skies one inside the 10, and a fair catch signal for and made by Jeremy Curley. That's where the Jets get their first crack on offense, and Detroit's defense hopes to get it back for the offense. Come on back to Ford Field right after this. A 54-yard punt from Sam Martin pushes the New York Jets just inside their own 10-yard line to start their first offensive possession. Let's take a look at the Lions starting defense, brought to you by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. It's a defense, Rob, that is built on the strength up front. And we'll get to those guys here in a moment, because they have revamped that defensive line. Bigger, stronger, they hope faster. Mark Sanchez starts as the Jets quarterback, and there is a quarterback controversy brewing for sure. He's pressured and throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for Bilal Powell. So it's 2nd down and 10. The coverage by Chris Houston, who was Detroit's defensive MVP a year ago. There's a look at Sanchez, who's battling it out with 2nd-round pick Geno Smith. Sanchez, too many turnovers in the last 2 years. 52, most of anybody in the NFL. That's why that job could be up for grab. Inside give. Powell hops his way, maybe, to the 12-yard line. Lions defensive line very strong. Forced 123 negative plays a year ago. And the Jets starting offense, brought to you by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Their offensive line anchored by Nick Mangold and DeBrickashaw Ferguson, the left tackle, who has started every game since he was drafted 4th overall 8 years ago out of Virginia. Their wide receivers are a bit of a mess. They're looking for someone to step forward. They hope it's number 84, Stephen Hill. Sanchez in a throwing situation. Underneath route. It's caught. Breaking a tackle and spun around at the 21-yard line for a 1st down. DeAndre Levy made the tackle. And Ryan Spadola on the reception.
Well, we talked about matchups are important, and we saw the Lions get Reggie Bush against David Harris on the previous series. He couldn't win that time. Spadola was able to get away from DeAndre Levy, get a little bit of space, and allow Sanchez an out with the ball.
Levy re-upped with this club, a 3-year contract in the offseason. Sanchez throws a pick! Ansah! Touchdown! The rookie shines on opening night!
Are you kidding me? You talk about a debut. The #1 draft pick out of BYU, Ziggy Ansah. They're trying to throw the screen, Matt. But the Lions do a good job. I think it's Jason Jones Actually, it was C.J. Mosley tackles it back as he's trying to get out of the backfield, and Ziggy's just there. I think he may have snipped it out a little bit, but the ball is really thrown right to him. The screen is there. Look at that. You got to like it. What a way to start for this young man.
That'll endear yourself to the hometown crowd, won't it? David Akers on for the extra point. The holder is Martin. And the kick is good. And Detroit, thanks to their 5th overall pick, the first-round choice out of BYU, the 6'6", 270-pounder returns it 13 yards to pay dirt for a 7-0 lead. What a debut for Ziggy Ansah. A lot of people compare him to Jason Pierre-Paul. Bill Polian was the former GM, the Indianapolis Colts, and many others. He was at Lions camp earlier this training camp, and he said it reminds him more of Bruce Smith. Now, that's lofty expectations because that guy's one of the greatest of all time.
I think he's in Canton.
Yeah, he is. But Ziggy Ansah, he has that length. We were talking about it in the pregame show. Just 9 passes batted down a year ago.
Now, wait a minute. Did he play at BYU? Was it at like altitude up kind of high?
Yeah, a little bit.
He ran 9 yards. He's sucking air.
Well, who cares? He found the end zone, and he got his team on the board first.
It's probably from all the post-touchdown celebration that got him tired. Everyone jumping on him.
That does get you a little winded, doesn't it? Well, Mark Sanchez, how about that? Lions already with a defensive touchdown, something they didn't have all of last year. One of just a handful of teams who didn't score courtesy of their defense. That will be huge this season. You want a key statistic to figure out? Look at giveaway, takeaway. A year ago, Detroit was a -16. Their playoff season of 2011, they were a +11. Mark Sanchez battling for his job on a quick slant and a completion just shy of the 30-yard line. Stephen Hill, their big wide receiver, out of Georgia Tech on the reception. This Jets team had all kinds of problems moving the football a year ago. Under 300 yards per game. Dead last in the NFL. This time on the ground, up the gut. And you're going to see Ndamukong Suh up there. C.J. Mosley is up there. There's Jason Jones, Ziggy Ansah. All those guys up front give you a lot of different looks. You can go a lot of different ways because Suh can play outside. He can stand in a 2-point.
Yeah, we talked in the open about in the pregame show about Jason Jones, who's kind of a flip. He can play down inside of the tackle. He can be a rush end outside. You said when Ndamukong Suh can do the same thing. And then we have Israel Donahue not playing tonight, but I tell you, the Lion fans are going to like this former Bear. Pretty versatile player as well. Jim
Schwartz actually said Jones played a little bit more inside in Tennessee when you and I were talking with him the other day. Ansah in on the tackle again, so he's made himself a presence.
And Stephen Tulloch, the tackling machine, also number 55, the solid linebacker on the right side of the screen. Ziggy does a good job. That's DeBrickashaw Ferguson, and he just gets rid of him. Now, that's a big-time tackle.
Yeah.
DeBrickashaw, he's been a Pro Bowler over the course of his career, and Ziggy showed that he's just not a big, long guy, but he has leverage and strength in the upper body and legs as well.
Still learning the game. He told us earlier in the week it really helped that he played for Jim Schwartz at the Senior Bowl. A little dump off to the left side. That's Tommy Bohannon. And he's ridden out of bounds by Ashley Palmer, who's fighting for that outside linebacker spot. Battle there is between him and Tahir Whitehead. Whitehead, the second-year man out of Temple. Palmer, the fifth-year pro out of Mississippi. More of a special teamer with this club so far in his career.
That's also preseason for the officials here as they're trying to figure things out as well. I don't see a flag on the field, man.
No. Let me ask you this. We just hinted at Ashley Palmer. How difficult is it to shed that label? You're a special teams guy and make the transition from special teams performer to
The yardage is
starter.
correct. The down is correct. 3rd and 10.
It's very difficult. If you're a player first, if you've started games, and then you go to being a special teams player, it's easier to make that transition back because people know what you can do. But you've been labeled a special teams player for 4 or 5 years in your career. Yeah, you got to prove to people that you are more than a one-trick pony.
3rd and 10. That's Braylon Edwards in motion. Sanchez looking across the middle, and it's caught by Clyde Gates. Too much time to survey.
Well, I think Slay's going to be over him initially. Number 30 at the top of your screen. They're playing zone, though. He's going to pass him to the inside. He has the deep outside flat. But Don Carey just a little bit slow coming up from the safety position, and Don's got to do a little bit better job reading that. There's no outside deep threat, so you can cheat down inside it from that safety and that cover too.
Carey weighed 32 for the Lions, started 5 of the last 6 games a year ago. Sanchez, pressure comes. All kinds of time. Flag on the play. He's forced to dump it off. That'll tell you the coverage was pretty darn good downfield. Let's see if the infraction is on the Jets.
Well, the Lions have seen this. Lion fans have seen this. They're going to hit my old buddy Steven Peterman. Steven Peterman, the left guard of the Jets. He's a little bit of a late WWF takedown. He's getting beat. You see in the middle. You're going to take a look here. He's going to be right here on your screen. He's going against Nick Fairley. Nick's getting by him now. Once you get that back on that back side, you can't do that. Now, a little bit light, a little bit more of a push. Now, DeBrickshaw Ferguson doing a little bit better job, as you could also see on Ziggy Ansah that time.
Peterman's been 7 years here in Detroit. Little wildcat for the Jets. Didn't work. Powell might have gained 2, maybe 3 on the play. Was that a phase in the NFL in your mind, the wildcat?
You know,
is it over?
That's a great question. I tell people this. You have to understand that all NFL coaches do is coach year-round. You can surprise them with something. If you give them a long enough time to prepare, and they're going to figure it out. And they were able to figure it out. I think the only way that'll ever work in the NFL is if you have 3 running quarterbacks, that you actually use quarterbacks in the wildcat instead of just running backs.
Oh, they tried to set up a screen. It was almost picked off. Second time the Jets have tried to set up a screen. One was a pick 6, and Glover Quinn almost had another.
Well, Kellen Winslow Jr., number 81, is going to, the screen is to the tight end. It's out too far in front of him. Bad throw, and Winslow makes a heck of a play. If he doesn't deliver that blow, that's going to be a pick 6 for Glover Quinn.
You like Glover Quinn. A lot of people do. He was a key signing for this team.
And there's nothing not to like about him. You go to practice, he's just always in position. He's a guy you'll never know is out there because he's never going to make that mistake that's going to draw your eyes to him.
Wanted to be an architect when he was a little kid. Why? He told me because they make a lot of money. Guess what? He's going to make a lot of money playing here in Detroit. 7-0 Lions. With the Jets staring at a 3rd down and 17. You see that face right there in the middle. You recognize it. That's Marty Morningweg, former coach here of the Lions, who had a very effective offense in Philadelphia and now is in his first year here with the Jets. And the Jets folks have told us before the game, this offense is really trying to get used to his terminology and the different types of routes and schemes.
You could bring in George Halas or Paul Brown to coach the Jets right now, and people are going to think it's innovative after watching this team stumble last year offensively. And Rex Ryan knew he had to make a change. He brought in Marty Morning, as you said, did a good job in Philadelphia. He's always been a creative offensive thinker. He's a guy when he was in Detroit, I don't think he was quite ready to be a head coach at the time.
Right.
But I liked what he tried to do. He really tried to spread the ball, use different components, get the tight ends involved, and use a lot of formations as he learned in his days, tutoring with Bill Walsh.
Rex Ryan said, you know what? That defensive line of Detroit's going to really test us. They've tested them already. Let's see here on 3rd down and 17. Pressure up the middle. He dumps it off. It's caught. A nice grab made by Jeremy Curley, but shy of the 1st down, and New York will have to punt it away.
This is why football players need to think like football players. This is going to be completed in flat, but we're going to see DeAndre Levy, number 54, is going to come into your picture. Watch how he keeps inside Levy. Where you really don't get a look, he keeps him inside out. What he did, Matt, he slowed down. He knew the sticks were 17 yards. He knew he had probably 8 yards behind him, and he did a good job of keeping the runner to the outside.
Michael Spurlock, nope, balancing up. Nice job by Patrick Edwards as he gets close to the 20-yard line, but not a whole lot of room there. Detroit's offense back on the field for the 2nd time when we return. Larry Warford will anchor the right side at the right guard position on this possession for the Lions. And I talked to him earlier in Canada. I said, you're pegged as a run blocker. and it's what you do best, right? Does that body? He says, look, I want to be known as a great all-around player. So I know I've got things to work on. There's a lot of people who feel like he's got a legitimate shot at winning that right guard spot. Out of Kentucky, the 3rd-round pick.
And he has the he definitely has the body for it.
And they try to run behind him. Gain a little bit of yardage with Reggie Bush.
I think people in Detroit may be surprised this season to see how much the Lions will run Reggie between the tackles. You know, you said earlier, Matt, you know, he's what is this, 8th, 9th, 8th year? I'm trying to think.
8th year, yeah.
But he doesn't have a lot of mileage. He hasn't taken a lot of pounding in his career because he's been used as more of a, you know, a speed back, a slot back, that type of deal. So, and he said he doesn't mind running between the tackles. Now, I don't think he'd want to run it 25 times between the tackles. But you have to have that type of versatility or teams are just going to game plan and try to protect the perimeter.
2nd down and 8. Stafford up top for Calvin Johnson. Inside Jets territory, or just shy of it, just shy of the 50.
But we talked also in the open about living on the edge. You're going to see Riley Reef, number 71. And this is really good to see. Keep your balance, keep your base in front of you, and then outside, Reggie Bush is going to curl down. It's just a smash route. He's going to hold the corner with the shallow right and run the deep corner behind Reggie hooking up in the flat. Safety can't get over the top. Big play for the Lions.
Gain of 28. We were used to that a year ago. Wait till you hear the number we're about to give you here in a moment. Flag on the play. Jets were offsides. Back shoulder throw. Johnson inside the 30, and he's carving up Antonio Cromartie.
And Dominic Raiola, the wily veteran, has made 2 nice plays at center, both with a defense is straight.
Offside, defense number 95. This penalty is declined. The results of the play, 1st down.
Well, the defense jumps into neutral zone. Dami snaps the ball. Even though the rest of the offense isn't quite ready because it's an early snap, Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson, free play. Little back shoulder throw. Taking candy from a baby.
A gain of 22, back-to-back gains of 20 yards or more. Calvin Johnson had 40 receptions a year ago of 20 or more. By far and away led the NFL. 2nd, Thomas in Denver with 29. There's the separation that people were talking about when it comes to the best receiver in the game. Stafford pump fakes right, looks left, Edwards knocked away. Nice defensive play by their 1st-round choice, D. Milner, the rookie out of Alabama.
Oh, this is just a go route by Patrick Edwards. Maybe the fastest Lion that you're going to see on the field tonight. The problem is he doesn't really close the gap. D. Milner is playing a deep 3rd coverage, which makes it easier. So he's running on the snap of the ball, Matt. His job is not to get anyone behind him, and he did a nice job coming off a national championship team.
2nd down and 10. Yeah, he's a good cover corner. There's no question about it. 6 picks for Alabama in his career, but more importantly, a 3-year starter there. For Johnson. And he fell down. I don't know what happened there. Maybe trying to adjust a little bit.
Well, it's a read between Kelvin and Matthew. When you get man outside like that and you're the receiver, if the defender is on your shoulder or parallel with you, the quarterback's going to read that he's even, and he's going to throw the back shoulder throw. Matthew is throwing the back shoulder. Kelvin feels he has a beat, and looking at the replay, it looked like Kelvin might have had a half a step or step. You just have to be on the same page, and early in the preseason, that's what happens. During the course of the year, you hope that they're going to complete that for possibly a touchdown.
Now a 3rd down and 10. Matt Willis is anywhere 12 in blue. He is split to Stafford's left. Pressure comes. He unloads, and it's incomplete. Intended for Tony Shuffler. So let's see what David Akers can do here.
Watch Reggie Bush step up inside, sees the blitz coming. Number 21, you see in your picture. Excellent job. Hey, if you're little, go low. You know, why are you going to take on a 250-pound linebacker right in the face, man? Take his knees out, and that's what Reggie did. It's still legal. It's one of the things that's still legal in the NFL.
47-yard attempt by Akers. Good. A lot was made of his struggles a year ago, but he wasn't completely healthy. That was a healthy boot. Lions up 10-0.
David Akers with a 47-yard field goal to give the Lions a 10-0 lead. And this team is looking to do something they haven't done in quite a long time, since 1991, in fact. Start a football season without Jason Hanson as their kicker. So we thought we'd have a little bit of fun. David Akers himself was only in high school back in 1991. And as you take a look at this graphic, you'll see that he was in Kentucky, Tates Creek High School. Reggie Bush was just 6 years old back when Jason Hanson took over this job at Daylord Elementary in San Diego. Reggie didn't even start playing football until he was 9. And then how about the youngest guy who's on this roster, Martavius Nellums? He wasn't born the last time the Lions started a season without Jason Hanson as a kicker. He was born in September of 1991. So a new thing for a lot of guys. A lot of time has passed since Jason Hanson took over the job.
Where were you in 1992, Tom?
Oh, 92. I was a sophomore in college.
All right. Well, don't mean to date you by any stretch. Good grab by Winslow Jr. and then Don Carey upends him right in front of the Jets bench.
I think that might be Tahir Whitehead. I'm looking at 59 was man-to-man with Kellen Winslow and Sanchez. He makes a really good throw. See Whitehead waiting on him, keep him in front of you. Now once he makes his move, you got to close that angle. But Winslow did a couple nice things there. One, Matt, you saw he worked his way back to the quarterback. And the second thing he did was he caught the ball in his hands away from his body. And Sanchez really made a good throw.
He's got a decent resume in his 9th year out of Miami, Kellen Winslow. Only tight ends with more receptions since 06. Witten, Gonzalez, and Gates. Lofty company. It's 2nd down and 4 now for New York. On the ground. Breaking a tackle and getting to the next level inside the 40. Bilal Powell squeezing it down for a first down. Pickup of 11.
Well, keep an eye on number 50. Pause it right. Stop it right here. Ashley Palmer's going to come up. All right, let it roll. He's going to read this. Oh, no, I missed that. I missed that one totally. That's a safety coming up, I believe. That was number 43 coming up. That's Chris Hope, and he just gets olayed. He got nothing but air.
Trying to make this team as a backup safety. Bilal Powell again, muscling his way to the 36-yard line. How's that defensive line doing for Detroit? You're seeing a lot of guys who are going to be in that rotation on a regular basis.
And that's what you want to see. You want to have that type of depth, get fresh bodies, work people through. Now, granted, we're going to see a ton of bodies here tonight because it's preseason, and some of the names we'll be talking about will not be here come September.
It's funny, and Dominican Sue and Nick Fairley were blowing things up at practice earlier this week so much Stephen Tulloch got really upset and says, I can't get anything done. It's tough to get my reads because these guys are blowing everything up for that offense. Good coverage by Ashley Palmer on that flare out.
I kind of got on Ashley last time incorrectly. It wasn't even him, and this time makes a good play. Inside out. He almost commits too quickly, but he's able to wrap up the ball carrier that time, and Powell really couldn't do anything with it, so sets up a 3rd down 11. Now let's keep an eye on those defensive ends. This is what they dream about. They salivate. 3rd end passing situation. Pin your ears back and bring the heat.
Out of the gun for Sanchez. Bentley the nickelback. He's beaten, and the Jets are going to take advantage of it. A first down to the 16-yard line. Jeremy Curley. He was coming in motion, and Bill Bentley was running with him and then fell down.
Well, we're going to look here on the high wide. Curley's going to come across. You see Bentley just off to the left side of your screen, and I don't know if he got totally fooled, but it looks like he slipped a little bit on the turf. Man, that's, Bill fighting for a job, the starting job at the cornerback now. Right now, he's slated as the nickel man. Darius Slay is starting the game at corner. We talked about, I think it's going to be one of the strengths of the Lions defense, though. This secondary, much improved.
Curley had a career year last year, led this team in receptions. Powell with a flag on the play, spinning his way inside the 10. Let's see what the laundry's all about.
We might get Peterman again.
Holding, offense, number 66, 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
It's Willie Colin this time, the other guard.
Okay, Willie's going to be the right guard right here. Oh, nice inside move by Dominic Sue. Yeah, that's the easiest call you'll see. Willie's going to do that. He's got to get on the other side of the football because that's a good tackle.
And he knows better. 7 years in Pittsburgh, won a Super Bowl there. First down and 20. Throwing situation, Sanchez. Seam route, touchdown Jets.
Well, that's just a breakdown in coverage.
Jeff Cumberland, the tight end, fooled everybody, and New York is on the board.
Well, I believe that was Travis Lewis who was in coverage. He ran with him like 10 yards and let him go with no deep help at all. There's no one behind him. And Sanchez, this is just too easy. You see Travis Lewis coming into your screen, number 50. And that's just what happens in the preseason. You start rotating a lot of bodies in there in the secondary, in the linebacking position. And I'm not saying it's Travis's fault. I don't know what the coverage is. If there was a safety, he was supposed to have help over the top or not. But that's not a physical error. That is a mental breakdown.
Nick Folk's extra point is good. The Jets get some big third down conversions, and they get a big play. Sanchez to the tight end, Jeff Cumberland, the fourth-year pro out of Illinois, who had a career year a year ago. A little extracurricular taking place on the special teams.
Now, when we sort things out here, we're going to get a look at what happened on that touchdown pass to Cumberland. Okay, right at the beginning now. Travis Lewis is here. He's going to come out and try to lock up with the tight end. All right, let it go. And he's got a little bit. Now stop it. He just releases him, but there is no help down the field coming from anywhere. All right, let it go. And you can just see there's no safety. Into the picture, nearest guy is the corner. And a coach, you know what, Matt? As a coach, you don't like to see that. But I'd rather see that than a guy maybe I'm counting on to play that's just getting beat constantly play after play. That's correctable. You can coach that. You can work on a mental error. Now, do you want to see a bunch of mental errors by guys you're depending on? Obviously not.
No.
But that is a coachable mistake.
Travis Lewis doesn't want to see it on film. I can tell you that. A 7th-round pick out of Oklahoma a year ago. Just because you're drafted doesn't mean you make a squad. Just because you were on this team a year ago and playing special teams with 3 special teams tackles doesn't mean that you have locked up a spot. He's fighting for a position as well.
It's all about upgrading. When you run an organization, Martin Mayhew, Jim Schwartz, they know their job is to put the best 53 players on that roster that they can. And just because you were drafted the year before, as you said, Jeff, it does not mean you have a spot. If they got a guy that's better than you, they're gonna cut you quickly.
Hey, they drafted another linebacker in the 7th round this year, Brandon Hepburn, number 57, out of Florida A&M. There's Michael Spurlock. He's hoping to put a charge into this return game that Detroit desperately needs. Is he going to return this one? It's about 8 yards deep, and he's told to sit down by Joyce Bell. Well, hey, Lions fans, join the Detroit Lions and the Detroit Economic Club for the 17th annual kickoff luncheon on Wednesday, August 28th at Ford Field. The program will feature a discussion panel that includes head coach Jim Schwartz and team president Tom Luan. Tickets are on sale right now and can be purchased exclusively through the DEC website. It's econclub.org. That's econclub.org. New quarterback for the Lions, it's Sean Hill. Get the opportunity to spin it around a little bit. Threw 13 passes a year ago, completed 10, and 2 of them found their way into the end zone. Good play action, and a roll, and will run with it. Tripped up at about the 25, maybe the 26 after a gain of 6.
Well, they ran a slow release, a boot, it's a waggle. Michael Williams, a tight end of that side, blocked down, and he released in the flat, but he was being covered. And instead of throwing the ball away, Sean Hill figured, well, this is my time to shine a little bit. I'm not going to take Matthew Stafford's job, but I'm going to give the fans something to cheer about here today.
12th year out of Maryland. Those are his career numbers. And wins, too. He can win as a backup. You want to have a guy who can do more than just hand it off and spin it. You want to have a guy who knows what it's like to win. Flag on the play as he goes down. Muhammad Wilkerson with the sack. If it counts, usually indicates holding.
I think Riley Reef might get caught here. I haven't been right too often, but
Jake Scott, number 60, on the left side of that
Holding,
line.
offense, number 71. The penalty is declined. Results of the play, third down.
It was
This is
Riley
also
Reef.
the end of the first quarter.
That's the end of the quarter. Detroit gets a defensive touchdown and a 47-yard field goal. Mark Sanchez counterpunches with a touchdown pass of his own. Detroit's up by 3 as we head to the second on the Lions television network.
Lions on top 10-7 as we start the second quarter here at Ford Field. Tom Lydon reporting. And if you're watching this game on TV at home, you might notice that things look a little bit different than they have over the last few years. There is a new turf here at Ford Field. The old turf lasted 12 years. It really wasn't bad along the edges, but when you got into the middle of the field, right about the 50-yard line, it was really problematic, Matt. And a lot of the players here were saying that they were looking forward to the upgrade and glad that when they fell, it wouldn't hurt quite as much as it did last year.
All right, as long as you stay upright, that's all that really matters to our broadcast. Here's Sean Hill strolling and finding Joique Bell. Joique Bell, very impressive a year ago. I'll be honest with you. I was not one of those guys who thought he was going to be an impact player at this level. Last year, 82 carries, rushed for 3 touchdowns, a weapon out of the backfield, 52 catches. This kid can play. He helps.
And he does a nice job making the first person miss. We saw this a lot last year. See David Harris gets nothing but air, and he makes the second defender come and get him. There's just too many white shirts in pursuit. But Joique, they got a lot of mileage out of him, and I think right now in camp, as you can see, he's the number 2 running back ahead of Mikal LaShore, who they drafted high a couple years ago.
Sam Martin launches one. And it takes a Jets bounce. Flag on the play.
Only about a 31-yard punt.
Must be that new turf that Tom Lydon was referring to.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 50. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the 3rd penalty against the Jets, who were the 4th fewest penalized team in the NFL a year ago. Now here's Geno Smith. He's the 2nd-round choice out of West Virginia. Let's see what he can do. Mark Sanchez's night was not bad, Rubes. 10 of 13 for 125 yards and a touchdown. Now he threw a pick, 6. But 10 of 13, not a bad ratio at all. Smith, a 2nd-round choice, 39th overall. And the Orange Bowl MVP for the Mountaineers will throw on his first attempt. On a quick curl route for a first down close to midfield. Clyde Gates, another reception for the Jets. They're moving it.
Well, Gates was able to get inside of Dominic Johnson. And a little bit of a slant route, and the ball was well thrown. Geno, what we liked about him in pregame, we got to watch him, is quick release. Ball comes up very hot, accurate quarterback. I'm a little surprised that he lasted as long as he did in the draft. You know, I really thought he'd go higher.
Well, Willie Young made good penetration and just bottled up Powell, and a little bit more pushing and shoving taking place after the play. Willie Colin involved in it. Tahir Whitehead involved as well. Well, Colin's a big man, isn't he? 6'3", 315, and if he's 315, so am I. He's a lot bigger than that.
Lions with a lot of 2s, and they got some of the 1s, but Travis Lewis, Tahir Whitehead in the game. We talked about Dominic Johnson, Willie Young, C.J. Mosley.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
Boy, win or lose, Rex Ryan is going to look at this tape and go nuts with all these miscues.
Well, it doesn't take much to make Rex Ryan go nuts, but the right guard that time just coming out of his stance too quick. Willie Colon has been in a lot of the action, some good, some bad so far here tonight.
2nd down and 16 now for New York. Geno Smith will throw again. He's got a big arm. Powell with a nice grab. Can't break free. It's close to midfield.
Dominic Johnson, the corner that time. A little better job sitting in the zone, read the play, came up and held on for dear life. Went to his knees a little too quickly. You want to keep your feet, bring your feet with you. And Dominic, another one of those young corners we're talking about, fighting for a position here. You know, when you're looking at this roster and you're prepping for this game, you realize, man, there's a lot of DBs that they bring into camp. But it's one of the hardest positions to evaluate. You really need to see them under fire. Some guys look okay in practice, but you put them in a game and they disappear. Others, just the opposite.
This is his 8th team he's trying to make it with. Smith batted down at the line of scrimmage. Remember what we talked about pregame and our open. The big, long arms of Detroit's defense. I'll reiterate, just 9 passes batted down in 2012, near the bottom of the NFL.
Watch top of your screen. I think it's really young. He's getting inside, gets knocked down, gets back up, gets those long arms in the passing lane. And someone like Geno Smith, not the tallest of NFL quarterbacks.
That's why you have to find those windows that you talk about. Right?
Yeah, and the problem with Geno there is the window was open because Willie was on the ground. As he saw his target and went to deliver it, Willie got up and deflected the ball.
Patrick Edwards.
Let it go.
That's a bad punt.
It is.
I mean, you want to get that inside the 20-yard line. That's not how you make a football team if you're Ryan Quigley of the Jets. Well, be sure to join us again next week as Lions travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns in Week 2 of the NFL preseason. Our Lions tailgate will kick off our coverage at 7 o'clock, followed by the game at 7:30. You're home for Lions football right here. Channel 7, WXYZ in Detroit. Those Browns beat the Rams the other day, 27-19. Brandon Weeden, you got at the quarterback spot. You got Trent Richardson, of course. Sean Hill, all kinds of time, and had it knocked down and skipping into the secondary. Nick Bellore with some pressure there. Bellore, the local product out of Central Michigan University.
Well, let's get a look here. Let's pause it. We're going to watch this young man, Jason Fox, competing for that right tackle position and see how he does. Give him a little eval. Let's pull a little bit, stays with it. That's a win for the young man out of Miami of Florida. Let's look at Jason. Going to split a lot of time. Him and Corey Hilliard is going to shake out at end of camp. And Jimmy Schwartz, basically, it's too close to call yet. They're going to see who can step up and be the player.
Michael LaSure, close to the 25-yard line. LaSure dropped about 5 pounds from last year to this year. A new dad as well, Michael Jr. He said he did a lot more yoga, a lot more Pilates than he did before. So he feels like he's in a lot better condition. I asked him, did you ever, last year, it's tough coming back from an Achilles. And he said, I never really felt like I got my legs underneath me. I feel like I have them in camp right now. No excuses, just an honest assessment. That's all. Empty backfield now for Sean Hill on a 3rd down and 6. LaSure is split to the right. Hill looks that way, slings it underneath Matt Willis with a catch and a 1st down at the 32-yard line. Needed 6, got him 8.
Well, Willis is going to be lined up in the slot to the right. Sean Hill knows where he's going with the ball. He pre-reads the secondary. He knows he's got man outside. And the easy, shortest throw, right to Willis in the slot. Well executed by this Lions offense.
Hill wants to throw again. Pressure there. Riley Reif trying to shove him forward, but can't really do that job, and Hill will go down. Quinton Coples, their 2nd-year pick out of North Carolina. Moved from outside linebacker, or to outside linebacker from defensive end.
Well, you're going to see the pocket collapse a little bit. Riley Reif gets beat on the left side. He helps hold Sean Hill up. But this, this is why you see all the starters out, but Riley Reif is in yet. You're going to, and Dylan Gandy's in at center. These guys need to play. They haven't played a lot of games in the NFL. They've been on the roster long enough. But game time, Matt, and practice time are totally different. You got to see how they handle it under fire with guys that are scrapping and fighting, trying to make a club.
Well, you thought Riley Reif would play the entire first half, and you're pretty close to it. He's still in there with 9:20 remaining.
You look at Jason Fox on the right side, pushing it down in. That's really a good block. I mean, that's 2 times that right tackle. We've watched him.
Larry Warford reached that next level too, and he got his hands out.
Big numbers,
those big paws out there. Got the yardage back and then some. 3rd down and 9 for Sean Hill and company. Good pass pro. He'll loft it. Left side off the fingertips. And incomplete, intended for Matt Willis. And Sam Martin gets another punt opportunity.
Well, 3rd and long, you know they're going to be coming. Let's take a look at the right side. Warford coming off, passing inside. Riley Reef on the top, running his by. That's a pretty good job. You know, a lot of time when you can throw the ball down the field like that, but Willis just could not get separation. And Sean threw the ball a little bit to the outside. You got to give the receiver an opportunity to make a play. Wow.
A lot of hang time, huh? Curley calls for a fair catch and makes it. So Jeremy Curley and the Jets go back on the attack. Down 7 at Ford Field. Lions with just 81 total yards of offense, but they're up by 3. We'd like to welcome all of our stations on the Lions Television Network carrying the preseason games this season. WXMI in Grand Rapids, NEM in Flint, Saginaw, and Bay City, WSYM in Lansing, WFQX in Cadillac and Traverse City, WJMN in Marquette, and our friends at the Fox affiliate in Toledo, Ohio. Geno Smith on a curl route. Connects at about the 25-yard line to Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill was a 2nd-round pick out of Georgia Tech, 43rd overall last year. Had just 21 rocks for 3 touchdowns, but they do like the size that he brings to this wide receiving core at 6'4", 215. Smith with an inside give, and Willie Young sniffed it out right away. Boy, I mean, he is really flying all over the place and to the ball. He was not happy with his season a year ago. Just 11 tackles, no sacks. He knows he wants to make a better impression.
Yeah, he's under the gun a little bit. You bring in Jason Jones, Israel Donijay, you draft Ziggy Ansah first. It's a zone read play inside.
Devin Taylor was a draft pick.
Taylor was a draft pick. So they're pretty much saying, you know, we're looking to upgrade at that position, and if that's your position, you better upgrade your player. You're going to be gone.
3rd down and 2. Oh, what a play! Don Carey came on a safety blitz to stuff the run for a loss, and the Jets will be forced to punt.
What I liked about Don Carey that time is he came hard on the safety blitz, but he came with awareness. You can see him sneaking in on the left side. He keeps his head up. He's got his one eye on Geno Smith, the other on the running back, and he reads it. You see also we had a cat blitz, corner cat. You see Bill Bentley coming in as well. Some zone blitzing going on, dropping off the defensive end, bringing some secondary people.
Don Carey told me earlier in the week he considers himself an opportunist. He made the most of that opportunity, didn't he? Edwards has a chance to return it from inside the 20. Got a block from Darius Slay and a flag on the play.
Oh, that's thin.
Sure is. Got to the 43, maybe 44-yard line, but they'll bring this back.
I'm kind of curious to see which one they called. They're going to call a block in the back. I'm not sure who the Lion special teams player was. We're going to hear it here in a second, but it looked like he was trying not to block, put his arms up in the air, actually.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, blindside block, number 30, during the return of the kick. Penalty be assessed, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
The penalty on the rookie out of Mississippi State, Darius Slay. Well, Patrick Edwards got us all standing and wondering, but I didn't see that penalty at all. Here's tonight's game summary brought to you by the Ford Motor Company. What an impact by Ziggy Ansah, the 5th overall choice. Takes it home from 14 yards away for an interception return. Mark Sanchez able to bounce back, guide the Jets into Lions territory, and then find his tight end Jeff Cumberland for 6. Squeezed in between there was a David Akers 47-yard field goal. Detroit leads at 10-7 with under 7 to go. Quick slant, and it's caught just past the 20-yard line. Good throw by Sean Hill, right on the money. That is not an easy throw. Michael Spurlock on the receiving end of that pitch.
And you talked earlier about quarterbacks finding their window where to throw the ball, and Sean Hill did that. He allowed Spurlock to get down the field where he could get it through that oncoming pass rush, and he just zipped in there quickly, and Spurlock called them calves. If we get a shot sometime of Michael Spurlock's calves, they're unbelievable. They look like he's got calves about a 400-pound man. Like they've been carrying a big body their whole life. They are huge.
2nd and short. And a timeout for the Lions.
Detroit. This is their first.
6:13 remaining in the opening half. Detroit's leading by 3 and looking for more on the Lions television network after this. And let's take a look at the stats so far. It's brought to you by Comerica Bank. Jets have doubled up Detroit in first downs, more than doubled in passing yards. Detroit not very good on third down conversions, haven't had the ball very often, but that turnover was huge. Came on the 4th play of the game. Ziggy Ansah returns it 13-14 yards for the touchdown, and that's been the difference in this one. Well, David Akers' 47-yard field goal helped too. That's why it's 10-7. Sean Hill to Joyce Bell. Good stop and start move, huh? For the 26. That's a nice, nifty little play.
He just makes the first guy miss.
Yep.
I saw it all last season. I've seen him here twice tonight. He has that knack. He doesn't look real quick.
Before last season. I'll give you credit.
I saw him in college at Wayne State. But you watch him, he just gives you a little bit. Nothing fancy, no stutter stepping. There's not much wasted movement in his style of running.
North and south.
Right. He's a north-south. He makes that one little slide step and goes.
Harlan Hill winner. That is the Heisman Trophy of Division II. Won it back in 2009 for Wayne State. And he'll get the call again. Cut back and a positive gainer. Dropped there by Sheldon Richardson, the rookie out of Missouri. 13th overall pick.
And Corey Hilliard back in. I knew we'd see a lot of them at the right tackle. He started the game. Jason Fox had a couple of series. Now Corey Hilliard back in at the right tackle.
Well, Dylan Gandy's at center right now.
Got to get some
right
work.
guard, yeah. He likes being versatile. Hill on a quick slant. Caught! And inside, just inside the 50, past the 45-yard line was Terrence Austin. Jim Schwartz told us the other day he's had a really good camp.
And Sean Hill is putting some zip on the ball. He looks a little like Matthew Stafford. Right at the top of your screen. He's going to be able to get inside. You see him beat the nickel back over the top. Good job by Austin.
Good route.
And how about that ball? Delivered right on time, right in where it should be.
Pickup of 19 on the play and another first down for Detroit. Bell to midfield.
Well, you like Larry Wolford, the big right guard. Now that time he showed a little bit of athleticism. He's able to get out from that right guard and lead up through the hole. And I like what I saw. What he was able to do, Matt, he did his pull. He got square to line and was able to get vertical and get some movement. There's a look at Big Larry out of Kentucky.
6'3", 333.
It's no hummingbird, boy.
That's a lot of man, isn't it? 2nd down and 6. Hill up top for Willis. Oh, what a grab! No, they're going to say he was out of bounds.
I tell you, Sean Hill's having some fun right now.
He is, you're right.
They're opening up the playbook. What a look we have here. Ball is caught. Knee. I tell you what, it doesn't one knee. Doesn't one knee equal 2 feet, though? I think you challenge. I think his knee. Well, that's not a good view. The first view we had was a really good view. And I think Jim Schwartz, if that knee touches in.
Oh, yeah, it did touch in. You're right.
Yeah,
it did look like it touched in.
He had possession. He maintains possession throughout the action of the catch or whatever they say.
That's a good point.
Now, I think last preseason was 0-6, 0-7.
No, you've been pretty good tonight, though.
Detroit is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Willis is a really good special teams player, too. So he's trying to make this team in a number of different ways. And it may not be a returner, but you have to have somebody as a gunner, somebody who can get down there, right?
You got to have those Hawks, get them outside.
He's in his 6th year out of UCLA, Matt Willis.
Rex Ryan looked a little bit svelte there, too. This view, you really can't tell. It looks like he's out on that view, but when you see the view right here, he has the ball. Does the knee touch in? She's close.
That is really close.
That's close. But Jim Schwartz showing his team that he cares about the preseason games.
What do you think?
Competitive.
You think they'll overturn it?
No.
I don't either.
No, I don't think there's enough. I think his sock touched inbounds, but by the time his knee caught up to the... I think he was out, but nonetheless, a really good catch by this young man.
Good adjustment, huh?
It's a good look at Coach Schwartz. You know, once you get in a preseason game, you're going to play a ton of people. So in the sense of playing your starters, you're not trying to win. But with what you put out there, the bodies you're putting out there, you're trying to win the game and get an evaluation at the same time. You want to get your people in game action, get a good look at them. But if you're out there, you're still trying to win. Why not?
Welcome in, Tom Lydon. Tom, did you get a good look at it?
Yeah, I am taking a good look at it. I mean, what they're looking at is to see if the knee and the elbow came down, and they're really trying to spotlight that specific point of the play. And I don't see him overturning this one, but at least they're giving it a good look, and that's specifically what they're looking at.
Well, I don't think he needs a knee and the elbow.
Yeah, that's what they're looking at.
I think he needs one or the other, Tom.
Well, that's the moment of the play where they're pausing it. We'll see what he does.
The elbow's definitely...
I think the elbow's definitely out, isn't it? No?
So what they're doing is seeing if either of them are in. Yeah, one elbow or one knee.
Willis at UCLA, first 2 years he was a track star. Then he's decided to play football.
Oh, they're moving.
After reviewing the play, the receiver possessed the ball and came to the ground inbounds at the 23-yard line. It will be ruled as a completed pass.
We are 0 for 3. Tom Lydon's wrong, Rob Rubik's wrong, and I'm wrong.
I was wondering if it's an elbow or knee, though. We needed Tom to try to snoop it out, maybe, and find out if they thought his knee was in or his elbow. I thought the knee might have been in. I didn't think the elbow was.
I'm just glad none of us were under the hood.
Yeah, I'm 0 for 7 now in the last 2 years, so keep the streak going.
Good catch by Matt Willis. I mean, really good adjustment.
Not a bad throw by Sean Hill.
So they moved it to the 23-yard line. Mikel LaSure drives that pile inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. LaSure had 9 touchdowns a year ago. Best on the team, and the most by a Lion since 2000. 9th most in the NFL. I think that's kind of a misnomer. Detroit had 17 rushing touchdowns last year. That was 6th most in the league.
You never cease to amaze me with the stats you bring in, because I never would have guessed that LaSure had that type of production last year.
Second down and 7. Hill's going to run with it. Yes, he is. Get out of bounds, and he does at the 15. 2:41 left to go in the half. A gain of 5.
Let's take a look at these 3 guys right here. They run a little cluster route. You see Williston go underneath. The tight end, Fourier, he goes out and runs a get open. He tries to slide back in the middle. He gets held up a little bit. Nothing there. And Sean Hill just tucks it and runs and puts him in a very manageable 3rd down and short.
Boy, Tom Lydon talked about the new turf. You can see it with all those rubber pellets popping up anytime a player drags his foot. Hill 6 of 8 for 73 yards so far tonight. He needs 2 to move the chains. For the corner.
Wow.
Touchdown! Matt Willis.
What a series for that man, number 14, Sean Hill, and number 12, Matt Willis. Right there. At least 3 completions I can remember in that drive. And this is why the Lions have what very few teams in the NFL have. If the Green Bay Packers lose Aaron Rodgers, they're done. If the Lions lose Matthew Stafford, they can stay afloat a while with Sean Hill. He's a proven veteran. That is a very well-thrown ball.
Yeah, the Lions and teams like Washington might feel the most comfortable when you have a backup quarterback like that.
But there are very few in the NFL right now.
I agree. What a pitch and catch. Sean Hill to Matt Willis. And Detroit has its first offensive touchdown of the preseason.
Look at his career stats for Matt Willis.
Nate Burleson is always there for a reminder, a refresher, and a congratulatory way to go.
Nice job by Dylan Gandy. Gets beat inside a little bit, was able to use the The momentum of the defensive tackle pushes him outside the pocket, allows Sean Hill to step up. It's just a go route. And what a throw.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, that is perfect.
That is not preseason football right there. That is quality NFL pitch and catch.
These guys want to compete, man. They want to compete. And Sean Hill threw a perfect pass to give Detroit a 10-point lead.
You know, Matt, we talk about this every year. People say, oh, it's the preseason, it's bad football, why should I pay? The thing I find interesting is being a guy that for 7 years, it was very important to me to make the club review. I'd had nothing given to me. I have a different appreciation of what's going on down there for a Matt Willis,
right,
a Tahir Whitehead, trying to fight to win that starting job or just a job on the roster in general. Now, every play that you live and die as a player, you're critiquing them during the game in your head as well as the entire weekend before you go and watch the film.
Rubes, even if he doesn't make this team, that goes on his, lack of a better word, resume reel. He sends it out to other teams and they say, look at the type of catches this kid is making in Detroit's preseason efforts.
In a game setting, not in practice. You're not sending them stuff in 7-on-7 or 1-on-1s in practice. This is a game setting. It's real other live people that are trying to make NFL rosters. Are they the starters? Not necessarily. But, you know, we're not getting 3 or 4 deep here. We're still with a lot of the twos in the game, a few ones spotted in and out. And speaking of that, you see Bill Bentley in that corner for the Lions. There's a good look at Matt Willis. Got to be excited right now. But you can't live on one play also making a team. You got to keep building on it, and you got to compile a bunch of quality plays if you're going to try to upset someone and take one of those last roster spots.
Man, another penalty against the Jets.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Ode Abushi, the rookie out of Virginia.
He's writing down, okay, this guy's cut. I'm getting rid of him. I'm getting rid of him.
I'm going to chew somebody's tail at halftime, and I got to make sure it's number 75.
But he's not going to chew a lot because he's getting thin.
Smith with an inside give. Good penetration by Willie Young. Boy, he has been all over the field in this opening half. 2 minutes left to go in the half. Willie Young stealing the show defensively along with Ansa. And Matt Willis, how about this throw from Sean Hill? This is what I'm talking about, Willis. Hope you can stay with us at the half. Here's what's coming up in the Arby's halftime report. Tom Lydon talks with head coach Jim Schwartz. Highlights and stats from the opening half. And Charlie Sanders and Herman Moore join Tom with their perspective on the game so far. Geno Smith gets to work on his 2-minute offense. Underneath route, curling to about the 18-yard line or so. Well, Matt Willis' catch was really good. Was it as good as what Herman Moore used to do? Was it as good as what Herman Moore did in practice the other day? Let's see. You be the judge.
Okay.
Calvin Johnson gives him a low 5. He works against Glover.
Well, first of all, he's got a safety on him. So that's one strike against him.
Right.
And there's no pads. I don't know, Glover, I gave him a lot of hype in the open, but if that's how he's going to play man, we're in trouble this season.
Now, you're going to see some completions here, but the Lions are playing a different type of defense against this Jets offense right now, aren't they?
It's 3rd down and 11. You're going to play to the sticks. You're going to put your back, defend it. You know you can always come up, keep the receivers in front of you, a little extracurricular going on. It's been a little bit chippy.
Tahir Whitehead is getting into it, isn't he? He's got an edge to him. 59 in blue. He's
literally, if you ever seen his body, he's chiseled.
Yeah, he is built. There's no question about it. He's built like a linebacker. He used to like to do those, Sudoku puzzles, with numbers and play billiards. Yeah. And instead, he chose to read a lot more this summer. He said it relaxes me. I asked him, what's the best book you read? He said, How Successful People Think by John Maxwell. Taught him to think positive.
Yeah, he could just talk to you. Got all that information in about a 10-minute talk instead of reading a whole book, didn't he?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know if everybody would concur with your thoughts on who I am, Rubes. 4th down and a punting situation for the Jets. Returnable, and Spurlock is buried at the 35-yard line. So Here come the Lions offense. Sean Hill again. And it's probably worth mentioning. Last night I was watching a little bit of the Monday Night Football. It was Thursday Night Football on ESPN, the Atlanta game. And they had ranked the backup quarterbacks. And they ranked them with Kyle Orton, Sean Hill, Matt Castle, and then Kirk Cousins. And Cousins, by the way, for Washington was outstanding yesterday.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment. I think you could throw those 4 in a bag.
Sure.
The thing is, once you get about 10 or 11 on that list, it gets pretty sketchy. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to remember, Orton and Castle are longtime starters in this league. And Hill has started as well. He overshoots Joyke Bell there. But he has started. He has won games, too. And there is a belief on this team, not that you ever want to lose your number one, but if there was a nick, a cut, you know, a bump, a bruise that forced Stafford out, and it would take a lot more than that, by the way, but Hill could come in a series or more, and people wouldn't lose confidence.
Right, and it's not just treading water. You can still be productive with this offense. We saw a few years ago Sean Hill move this offense and get some things done.
Should have won the game in Tennessee with a quick slant, and it's caught by Mike Thomas at the 40-yard line.
He is unbelievably accurate. He being Sean Hill. Well, Mike Thomas.
Yeah, his numbers. Hey, listen, I know it's preseason, but his numbers are pretty gaudy right now. I think he's 8 for 10. Another throw, flushed from the pocket, throws on the run, caught by Scheffler, into Jets territory. And down at the 42-yard line.
Timeout. Detroit. This is their 3rd and final charge timeout of the half.
Makes
this is
sense.
a 30-second timeout.
Well, let's watch a feel for Sean Hill. He feels the pressure, goes out to the right, throws back across his body a little bit. Scheffler also doing a nice job. Tony's able, he's a vet. He feels when the quarterback scrambles to you, you move away. The quarterback goes away, you go to him, and Tony did a good job of making himself available, giving Sean Hill an out.
Pettigrew and Scheffler combined for 101 catches a year ago and over 1,000 yards, for what that's worth. They also had just 4 touchdowns, and that's the issue. It's finding the end zone. There's Sean Hill's numbers on the night. Bell in there to protect, just to the left of Hill. Miscommunication with him and Edwards.
I have a question for you, Matt.
Sure.
If they get for a long field goal attempt, will we see Kickalicious?
Hovar Rugland? Yes, I would guess we would. It might be the perfect time to bring him out. Don't you think?
It would get a buzz in the crowd. There's no doubt about it. The YouTube sensation.
Yeah, if you watched our pregame show, Brad Galley was in amongst the crowd, and there were a lot hoping to see him tonight. You'll see him eventually. If not in this half, probably the second half. Empty backfield for Hill. Joyke Bell out of the backfield. Did he get the first down? Yes, sir, he sure did.
And he got out of bounds and also got a nice little pick from Patrick Edwards, the wide receiver. You're going to see Edwards wide. Joyke will be in the slot. Watch number 83 come down inside. Create just a little bit of a pick. When you see man-to-man, you don't have to hit the defender covering Joyke. You just got to run your defender into him. Patrick Edwards did a nice job, well executed.
Boy, the more you watch Joyke Bell, the better you appreciate his game. Like you said, north and south.
Yeah, he's just
no screwing around, just get to the sticks.
Efficient.
Yep, sure is. There's a place for him on my football team, 1st and 10. There he is again, and he's got some room. Look at him look to the left sideline because he knows there's no timeouts, and I got to get out of bounds.
Yeah, in a different situation, Joyke would have cut that back into the field of play. But this is very intelligent football. And Sean Hill is just doing everything. He wants to go down the field to the right side, but there's nothing there. Joyke leaks out in the flat to the left, and right here, heads up play, getting out of bounds.
A good block downfield by Mike Thomas, by the way, the wide receiver. A pickup of 15. For the corner. And just off the fingertips of Terrence Austin.
Sean Hill is throwing darts. He is very impressive. I mean, you know, I've always been a Sean Hill fan, but you look at this, we're going to look at this replay. You cannot throw this ball any better. He's got Austin in the corner. Watch where this hits him. I mean, that's, you got good coverage too.
Sure.
You see Kyle Wilson, he's right there step for step. But Sean Hill did what a quarterback needs to do in that situation. He gave his receiver an opportunity to make the catch inbounds.
Kyle Wilson's played in every game since he was drafted in 2010 too. So he's in his 4th year out of Boise State. You're going up against a vet a little bit. Hill threw this one away. Good coverage by the Jets. They have always done that under Rex Ryan. Since 2009, opposing quarterbacks have been held to just 70.7 rating. That is tops in the NFL since Rex Ryan took over in New York.
We talk about Joyce Bell's heads-up running. You got to be able to do more than that. Let's watch him right here. Watch what happens. He can get a mouthful. Boom. Picks up the blitzer coming outside. Looked better from the other view live. But he, it kind of surprised him. But if you're going to be a running back, we saw Reggie Bush do this in the first series. You have to be able to take on blitzers in this league if you're going to want to be a 3-down back.
Blitz coming. Hill picks it up and overshoots Terrence Austin. He wanted a flag too. Instead, David Akers trots out for what he hopes will be his 2nd field goal of the night.
Good protection in the pocket. Jets only rushing 3. You see the late blitzer coming from the bottom of the screen, and not a lot of room to put the ball. Good drop, good depth by the linebacker, Nick Bellore, former Central Michigan Chippewa.
Akers, a 6-time Pro Bowler. A 35-yard attempt. Splits the uprights. Boy, we're used to seeing that from Jason Hansen. David Akers made sure everybody knew, look, I'm not here to be Jason Hansen. I respect him. He was outstanding. But I have carved out a nice 14-year niche in this league as well, and I can kick too.
Yeah, he really can, and he's made some big kicks, some long kicks in his career. But you talk about preseason, why it's important. It's important for David Akers right now, coming off a career year as far as a negative year for him, probably the worst year of his career. Now he starts building. I know it's preseason, but he can say, okay, I'm getting it back. I'm getting that rhythm. It's like preseason for baseball players, Matt. And he's getting that stroke down and look for hopefully positive things from this. Can't say young man.
He's 38. He's younger than me. Look, in his career, 82% on field goals. He's also the 17th ever to have 1,500 points. And don't forget, 2 years ago, just 2 years ago, David Akers hit an NFL record 44 field goals in a season.
But look at that one right there. That's a little lead in the foot there. Now, I'm not sure he can get out there yet at 38 years old. But at one time, he was one of those long. Jason Elam,
sure.
Sebastian Janikowski, one of those long leggers. I still think he's pretty solid 55 and in, though.
Most points and most field goals made since 2000. Sam Martin has shown a big leg too. Squib kick because just 4 seconds remain. Don't forget Jim Schwartz joining Tom Lydon at the half. And he's been able to see a lot of different things. His defense has made some plays. His defensive end specifically. Sean Hill has directed a nice 2-minute drill. Calvin Johnson's been involved.
Offensive line play. Yep. We saw Corey Hilliard, Jason Fox, Dylan Gant, Larry Wolford stepped up.
Sure.
And, Riley Reef against the ones at time. He struggled a little bit, but he was righting the ship and trying to get better. That's all you want to do in this game. It's more important than winning is to get better position by position.
Lions lead at 20-7. Tom Lydon has the head coach. Tom?
Thanks very much, Matt. 20-7 as I look at the scoreboard here. Give us your assessment of the first half.
I don't know. We saw a couple big plays out of our offense. Got a couple chunks. There's still stuff we need to do better. That one drive on defense, we were poor. We missed a couple tackles. Gave up a play. Should have never given up in that coverage.
One of the first things you said in your first news conference of this year is that you had to change the turnover ratio, and the defense needs to score some points. Nice splash for Ziggy in the first drive.
Yeah, a lot was made of Ziggy's inexperience, and we said from the beginning that he plays screens well, he plays draws well, all those kind of things. We've seen that stuff on tape, so it wasn't a surprise when he made that play.
Thanks for a quick minute. We'll talk to you after the game. Jim Schwartz will always find a couple of things to poke some holes at, but generally he's got to be pretty happy with a 20-7 lead at halftime.
I would guess so. Jim Schwartz said top to bottom, the most competition for spots since he's been here. 20-7. Lions in front. Halftime show continues right after this. Lions with 10 points in the first and 10 points in the second. Tom Lydon has Matthew Stafford downstairs. Tom?
Thank you very much, Matt. Always nice to talk to the quarterback after the first preseason outing. And for you, you get to sit back and watch the rest of the game. Give us your assessment on how you did in the first half.
Oh, it was fun. You know, it's our first opportunity to get out there, get our feet wet. Obviously, playing against a good defense. Like, guys were disciplined, did the right stuff, threw and caught a couple balls. It was fun.
You know me, I always like to ask at least one specific question. There was the play where they jumped off sides.
Yes.
That your call, that Dom's call, that snap comes back to you?
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah. You know, it's an aggressive defense. Coach Ryan has them playing hard at all times. Thought we could get a shot, and, you know, made it count.
How about Ziggy? Nice little splash for the first-round pick, huh?
Yeah, it was sweet. Nice little welcome for him to the hometown fans. I was happy for him. He's a great kid. He's working his tail off, and I'm happy for him to make a nice play.
Good stuff. Mission accomplished for you. As always, we appreciate a minute.
Thank you, man.
Matt, that's Matt.
Tom, as long as he stays healthy, man, he hasn't missed a game since 2011. 33 consecutive starts for Matt Stafford. Where do you think that ranks among NFC North quarterbacks?
Okay, well, we'll take Minnesota out of the equation, right? Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's... Well, that's not true, because Flynn had to play in the playoffs.
You're right, it's number one.
Yeah.
He has the switch for the NFC North.
I don't know about Jay Cutler, what he's been doing, but...
Håvard Røglen will kick it away. Yes, it is the Norwegian video sensation. Another lefty. And he has a big, big leg. This one will be down. He was one of those guys, Rubes, you told me early on, you're like, this guy can flat out boot it. I mean, you were really impressed with him and Sam Martin.
He had some pops coming on the field goals in practice, but I almost like to see the Jets pop one there. See how he would have handled trying to make the open field tackle. Is that any rugby or Australian rules football? No, he's not Australian. He's Norwegian?
Norwegian, that's right. Now, you know what's interesting? This is the most people he's ever performed in front of. 6,000 was the previous high, and that was the open training camp scrimmage. Geno Smith, more snaps here in the third. The second-round choice out of West Virginia will throw. An underneath route and a big pop of the pads at the 24-yard line. Braylon Edwards doesn't mind it from Tahir Whitehead. Edwards in his 9th year out of Michigan. Third time with the Jets, by the way.
He's the Andre Fluellen of the Jets. Flu is making his third trip with the Lions here. I saw him in a tunnel before the game, and you talk about a quality individual. Lost his father, and you know, it's just a shame at such a young age doing a charity basketball game, I believe.
On the ground, trying to bounce it to the outside. Ronell Lewis giving chase. Travis Lewis drags him down. Flag on the play.
But getting back to my thought about Andre, losing his father who was a young man, and also we see a little bit of an injury there. It's good to see Andre, still in the league, and you meet a lot of guys over the years, Matt. I've met hundreds, running the charity basketball game I run in the wintertime, the team, and one of the quality young men I've ever met.
John Griffin was the ball carrier and the injured Jet. Let's see what happened here.
See Devin Taylor, 92 into the game, chasing it down.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense, number 24.
Man, that's
15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, I think
they
got
called
the
it
wrong
guy.
number.
It was
right?
Travis Lewis, 50, and I really don't think it was a horse collar because he had his other hand on him as well. He just kind of helped direct him down, grabbing the shoulder pad. But I tell you, the officials, it's like their job wasn't hard enough in this league. And it seems like a lot of the rule changes and the rules they're making with the type of hits that are allowed, that aren't allowed, and the horse collar and the possession of the ball, like the Kelvin Johnson. It seems like they're just making their job harder. It's difficult enough. You think you try to simplify the game, but with the speed and the strength and the size of these players, I mean, the league is trying to keep it safe, I guess.
Again on the ground. Ronell Lewis did a nice job of getting free from the blocker and making the tackle. Lewis has something to prove, there's no doubt. I mean, they invested something in him. 97, fourth-round pick a year ago out of Oklahoma. And remember, he was injured a little bit in camp. Jim Schwartz said only have 8 full practices. He missed 2 of them. You can't make those up.
A good job working up the field. When he recognized run, he was able to take the offense tackle, slide him up, and work back underneath and make the tackle.
Second down and 9 now. This is New York's first possession of the second half. Smith wants to go up top. Pressure comes. And down he goes as he lunges to the Detroit 49 or 48-yard line or so.
A nice job by the secondary of the Lions, and Geno Smith hobbling a little bit. I'm not sure, did he even get hit? Did he just, boy, that would be.
Offense, number 62, 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
We're going to get a look here. They do a lot of pump faking, play action, fake the reverse. They're trying to get the ball deep down the field. Devin Taylor with some pressure. When Smith starts to scramble, he just looks like he rolls his ankle a little bit on the turf. Oh, a little inside out there. Outside in, however you want to look at it. But that's kind of a weird way to roll your ankle. Usually roll it to the outside. And that's not what the Jets are looking for.
He took himself out. Greg McElroy is in, the third-year pro out of Alabama. And he can sling it, and he does, to Braylon Edwards, the former All-Stater from Bishop Gallagher.
Another flag. And this is one of the trademarks of preseason games. You get into the third and fourth quarter. You know, guys are fighting and scrapping to win jobs. And
pass interference, offense, number 17, 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
And Braylon Edwards, one of them. Now, this is a big body receiver. Let's look. Top of the screen, he just pushes off. That's using the old Dominic Johnson, gets the raw end of that, but ultimately it comes out. The officials see it. But if you're a big receiver, I like that with Braylon Edwards.
I do too. I mean, you want
you have a gift.
receivers.
You have the big body. Use your big body. You just can't be so overt when you're trying to get your separation.
McElroy on a curl route. Not a whole lot of room there. Zach Rogers on the receiving end. Lions have some guys in there who are right now, like Bill Bentley's the right corner.
Amari Spivey at safety.
Sure. Yeah. Twos are still in there. McElroy on third down and 20. Up top, down the middle, and incomplete.
Well, he had him.
Sure did. Intended there for
another
wide
penalty.
Receiver and another penalty, yeah. Boy, it's almost comical for the Jets right now.
Illegal use of the hands, hands in the face. Offense number 75. The penalty is declined. Results of the play, fourth down.
Ode Abushia, his second infraction of the day.
And this is the beauty of preseason. There's never a shortage of what you want to coach and correct. And that's Andre Fluellen. We were talking about Andre, and he gets the better of him coming around the edge. You know Andre Fluellen's a player, Matt, and the reason I'm telling you this is he's not big. He plays down inside. He is not a big man, maybe 6'3", 290. I don't know what they list him at, but the fact that he can survive in the NFL in the trenches, being undersized like that, he has to rely on quickness and intelligence.
Lions will get it at the 20 when we come back. They lead it 20-7 on the Lions Here's tonight's big picture play of the half, brought to you by Gardner White Furniture. Fourth play of the game, at least with the Jets offensive team out there. Ziggy Ansell returns it 14 yards to Pater.
And maybe the most surprising thing about this play was not his awareness, but the fact that he had to take oxygen after the 9-yard dash.
All season long, you can register to win a big picture package from our friends at Gardner White. Watch all your sports in style. The room full of furniture and a big screen TV from Gardner White. Log on to WXYZ.com/Gardner White to enter today. Kellen Moore is into the ball game, the third-string quarterback for the Lions, and a guy who is trying to fend off Thaddeus Lewis for that number 3 spot. If, and that's a big if, they carry 3 quarterbacks. I think that's necessary in today's NFL.
Yes.
Why?
Well, you're one play away from needing a backup. And it's tough to bring a guy in with another team, especially the quarterback position, and make him your backup. So if you carry 3, He's the third string guy. He's familiar with your offense. He'll buy you some time, I think.
Michael LaSure feeling his way past the 25 to the 26-yard line or so.
But that is not necessarily the thinking of a lot of NFL teams, man. I think a lot will carry 2 or have carried 2.
Well, some might suggest if there are very few good quality backups, and you mentioned once you get past 10, you're in trouble, you should be able to find a third rather easily.
Well, I don't know. Maybe just the opposite. If there's very few quality backups, you don't want to just go sign some slug. So you're looking for a decent guy. I think the ideal thing is have a young quarterback that you can keep on the practice squad.
Right.
So he can be learning your offense and getting some reps if he has to become your backup.
There's also something to be said for Kellen Moore's knowledge of the offense, too, right? 3rd down and 3. And it's incomplete. Intended for Terrence Austin. Broken up by Isaiah Trufant.
Don't have offsides, I think, defensively, though, Matt.
Guess that shouldn't surprise us. Man alive.
The penalty will result in a first down.
There you go.
Have Barry get us a stat on how many penalties they've had here.
Rex Ryan can't believe it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are watching in New York who can't believe it either. 9 penalties for 70 yards for the Jets. Again, I'll reiterate what I said in the opening half. They had the 4th fewest penalties of anybody in the NFL a year ago, 83. LaSure. Following Rodney Austin on the left side of that offensive line. Jake Scott is out there. He's number 60 with Corey Hilliard on the right side. You've got Rodney Austin at the left guard spot. And you have Adrian Waddle at the tackle. He's big number 66. And when I say big, he is a mountain of a man. 6'6", 325.
We'll talk about Adrian in a minute following this play.
Well, the coach has been impressed with him. Got long arms. 2nd down and 5. LaSure. He does have a little bit better shape this year already than he had a year ago. You can tell a little bit.
Well, you know, talking to Dominic Raiola before the game, and I was talking about Adrian Waddle. I said, man, I've seen better bodies on NFL players, he says, but you may not see better feet. He says his feet are incredibly athletic. In the passing game, that he can recover. He sets so well that he's just a little bit raw yet. But Dominic, I think this kid may have a future in the league.
Started 38 consecutive games at Texas Tech. You need a 4th tackle. Here's Moore. And incomplete on 3rd down.
You know, this is not a knock on Kellen Moore because he's obviously working with different people, and he's going against different people as well. But you see the difference between a young quarterback like Kellen Moore and then Sean Hill. When Sean came in with the second group and some threes, you know, sprinkled in there, they still look pretty good. All of a sudden you get Kellen Moore and the timing's not there. But in his defense, he doesn't get the reps in practice as the first 2 quarterbacks do.
Blake Klingon now to take over the punting duties out of Appalachian State. Good high kick. Both these punters for Detroit have good hang time, and that allows that special teams unit to get down there for good coverage. We'll be back.
Lions over the Jets 20-7, 8:42 to play in the 3rd quarter. And anybody who's a Lions fan knows the name Kickalicious, the internet sensation that is riding the bike right behind me, Håvard Rugland from Norway. He took the nation by storm with this YouTube video where he was kicking the ball all over the place. Just amazing stuff from all kinds of different locations. He got a tryout, ironically, with the Jets and with the Lions. And the Lions signed him, and he has been such a hit during training camp. SI's been here to interview him. Men's Journal's been here to interview him. GQ has been here to interview him. He's been covered by the Norwegian press to no end. And guys, I would ask, does that make his teammates upset or jealous or give him the stink eye? And no, they say as long as he hits those 57-yarders like he does in practice, they're cool with it.
Well, let's get one thing straight. GQ was here to interview you.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's number 1. He started working with Michael Husted in San Diego back in November 12th. And you're right, the Lions did sign him because they thought he was the best left-footed kicker on the market. And Jim Schwartz has said, look, he's passed every test. In other words, first time he put his helmet on, when he wasn't used to kicking with it, he did fine. First time he put pads on, first time he saw a pass rush. All those firsts key pass, and he's done well so far tonight, even though it's been limited. That YouTube video.
Here's the thing about a YouTube video. I don't know how many attempts. It's not like, it's not a constant. He might have taken 70 attempts to make some of those.
So what? I mean, to be able to. Did you see that field goal he hit at the end there? Where he was almost at the goal line.
That's good, but he might have tried it. But I want to know, like, the guy that sticks his hands through the wall and catches the football, you believe that?
Okay.
You believe everything on the internet, Matt?
Look at it. He punts this one, then he kicks this one. I mean, these are like billiard shots, and then boom. I mean, it's that you can't make that up.
Look at the people in our truck that we work with. You don't tell me they could do that in a heartbeat. They are.
If those were 2 cheeseburgers, absolutely. But I'm not sure they could do it with a football. Greg McElroy, a pump fake. Pressure collapsing, but he found his man across the middle. Really good pocket awareness as he connects with Ben Obamananu, the 7th-year pro out of Auburn.
Just too much time in the pocket. And you give any quarterback at this level the time that Greg McElroy has. Lions rushing 4, but protecting with 5 inside. And that's a well-thrown ball. Carmen Messina dropping to his zone with his back to the ball. Never sees it coming. Well-thrown ball. McElroy getting some unexpected reps here with Geno Smith going down.
Obamano trying to win a job with this New York Jets wide receiving crew that is very thin coming into the game and coming into the season. They need some guys to step forward, and they could use some bigger bodies. Edwards and Hill have big bodies. Outside of that, and there's a Joseph Collins. We haven't seen him yet tonight. Obamano is 6'1", 204. That's not a bad body either, but they'd like to get some strength at that position.
Really unknown roster for receivers for the Jets. It's a pretty good opportunity for some young men to make a team.
Edwards, the intended receiver.
I think Dominic Johnson's going to get a hold here. Edwards trying to get separation. He runs in. Now, this last time they got Braylon Edwards for pushing off, and they didn't get Dominic Johnson for hanging on.
Pass interference. Defense, number 46. Automatic first down.
We're going to look here. Nice ISO shot. Edwards is going to take him into him as he tries to get separation. He pushes off, and I think it's holding more than they call it pass interference, but you see the jersey getting tugged on. Officials. It's a pretty easy call for them sitting right out there.
McElroy, and that was doomed from the start. Ronell Lewis with the sack. McElroy backed up into his tailback. Somebody missed an assignment there, and that allowed Ronell Lewis that split-second extra.
And Ronell Lewis, really coming to play here today. He's going to be lined up on the right side of the screen, a little bit of a twist. He comes clean inside, and he gets a sack. And this is when we talk about guys fighting for their life. Ronell Lewis was a draft pick, as we said earlier, Matt. Just because you're drafted the year before doesn't mean you're going to make it. They bring in all those defensive ends, with Devin Taylor being drafted, bringing in Jason Jones, Israel Donijay. You bring in all these different guys to strengthen that spot. All of a sudden, Ronell Lewis is like, wow.
Yeah.
Him and Willie Young both, they're fighting for their lives.
He played 8-man football growing up. McElroy steps up into the pocket, slings it across the middle, and another nice route, another nice throw, and another flag on the play.
Well, you're going to get tacked on. I think that's going to be Daquan Menzie coming in, number 38. A little hit to the helmet, so they're going to tack another 15 on.
Another catch by Ben Obamano.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit on a defenseless player, number 24. This penalty be assessed after the distance of the goal.
It wasn't late, but you're going to get a look here. It's definitely... See him coming in. He was barely down yet, so I don't consider that a late hit, but I do call it going to the upper region of the body, known as the head.
It's Tyrell Johnson right there. There's the elbow, but you're lowering your shoulder.
And you're ducking. You put your face mask down now. Anytime you put your face to the ground, it appears, even if you don't hit him with your head, that it is a helmet-to-helmet shot.
5 minutes to go in the third. McElroy directing a nice drive by the Jets. Oh, and he spins away from pressure. Still on his feet. Nice dump off. Touchdown, New York. Zach Rogers on the receiving end. What do you always teach us as a receiver? quarterback goes away,
you come to him.
You come to him, and that's what
He
Rodgers
comes to you, you go away. You keep working till you can't give up on the play as a receiver, and Rodgers doesn't. Pretty good pass rush initially by the Lions. You see number 63, Jimmy Sadler McQueen, getting in there. But Rodgers, and how about the awareness outside? Tommy Bohannon, number 40, the fullback, he leaks into the flat. He sees the completed pass, and he becomes a blocker. And he keeps Corey Greenwood from making the play. I think we had too many blue shirts on the field.
12 players on the field for the defense. This 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The try will still occur from the 2-yard line.
Billy Cundiff for the extra point. 10-year vet. And the Jets are now within 6. The touchdown toss to that man, Zach Rogers, makes it 20-14. All right, 2014. Now the Lions lead cut to 6 here at Ford Field. Detroit getting Cleveland next week. Then they'll host the Patriots in week 3 before closing out in Buffalo. That's the preseason schedule. How about the regular season schedule? The second toughest, only Carolina, according to last year's numbers, have the more difficult schedule. 12 teams, 500 or better, 7 teams in the postseason. The opponent's winning percentage at just over 54% against Detroit this year. 20-14, Lions in front. Their offense trotting back onto the field here in the third on the Lions. We have seen 3 of the Lions tailbacks in their stable. Now we get a chance to take a look at their running back draft pick. Out of Notre Dame, the 6th round choice, Theo Riddick, who Reggie Bush said actually he's more of a natural runner coming out of college than I was when he came out of USC 8 years ago. Theo Riddick wears number 41 in blue. Jim Schwartz had some good things to say about him as well. We'll tell you that here in a moment after this play. 4:51 to go in the third. More throws, and it's knocked away, intended for Mike Thomas. Jim Schwartz told us that Theo Riddick is, in his words, on the come. His trend line is up, and he looks better in pads than he does in shorts. And that's maybe the most impressive thing that Jim Schwartz told us. He likes the way he plays in pads.
You know, some guys are first team all pregame, we used to say. You know, in the walkthroughs and the 7-on-7s and the shorts and the shirts, they look pretty good. And you put them out there with the big boys and have to put the big boy pants on. And they start hitting and stuff, they just disappear, they shrink. But Theo Riddick, just the opposite. And that's what you want to see is guys in game situations step up.
More forced to throw. Riddick out of the backfield, and he dropped it.
Well, we're fired.
Well, he'd like to fire us. Yeah.
We build him up.
I mean, the ball's on his left hip.
It was
but
a little bit behind him.
Yeah.
But you know what? When you're trying to make a club at a spot, there's not a lot of room for error. It's a little bit behind him. You got to make those plays.
Yep.
That's just. Jim Schwartz is probably thinking the same thing right now. Theo, we signed you from Notre Dame, drafted you because we saw you make that catch numerous times for the Irish.
That's right. 45 games played for Brian Kelly's club. Moore throws, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. That was a shot, too, that he took.
They're not the biggest of stature. You look at Kellen Moore and see what they are. Young man from Boise State.
That was a safety blitz, Rose.
Yeah, they really got him. 6 foot 197. I think that's padding it a little bit. But it came off the edge. I see him talking to Jason Fox there, but he got smucked.
Fox was in on that series, too. Maybe you're competing for that starting job, and he's still playing with 4:35 to go in the third in this opener. On the run, the man who just scored for New York and is dragged down at about the 48-yard line, Zach Rogers. So New York with about a half a field to go to try and take their first lead of the night when we come back. It was awesome last year, and the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers are back with it again this year, encouraging fans to sign up to be part of the Ford Fan Tunnel. You're in the tunnel at Ford Field before the game, high-fiving the players and coaches as they take the field. You can't get any closer than that. Just visit your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers and sign up. Think Ford first. Greg McElroy had it stripped from behind by Devin Taylor. It's still loose. Ronell Lewis dives for it. Andre Fluellen does the same. Did the Lions force a turnover? Yes, they did. Second of the night by that defense, and it's the second time a defensive end has made the play.
And the Lions, a good job. You're going to see a lot of pressure as McElroy drops back. Devin Lewis on your right. He's coming in. He gets the hand. Yeah, there's no doubt. That's a fumble. Oh. And you see McElroy get hit, and Andre Fluellen realizes the ball's on the ground. This ball is just being pulled back. That's absolute. You can't. There's no review here.
That's a long reach by Devin Taylor, who's a big kid. 6'7", 6'8", 267. Come on, short change in there. The rookie out of South Carolina, Riddick on the left side.
You talk about
his way inside the 40.
Sorry, but now you talk about the size of Devin Taylor, and I'm looking at these defensive ends, 6'7", 6'6", 6'5", and the tight ends. They have Fourier at 6'8", and he's a legitimate 6'8". And I told Coach Schwartz walking off one day, I said, Coach, you got pretty tall. He goes, yeah, we're going to lead the NFL in rebounding this year.
That's Ronell Lewis right there. He's thick, but he's not nearly as tall as guys like Devin Taylor and Ziggy Ansah, but those guys are making plays. Taylor forcing the fumble to give Detroit prime position. Moore scrambling up the middle and dragged down at about the 35-yard line. Taylor's we talked about speed for this club. We always associate speed with corners and wide receivers. For a big guy, and I talked about his size at 6'8", 267, he runs a 4'7", 240. That's not bad, Rubes.
Nope. That was 260 my last year. I ran a 4'7" electronic time, and I was a receiver, not a rush end.
You would really like him. You know why? He loves to nature walk.
Yes. Does he like to shoot things while he's in nature?
He hikes and fishes.
Okay.
He doesn't go hunting. Third down and 6. Moore on a quick toss. It's caught. Not sure he got to the sticks, though. Might be slightly short. Terrence Austin on the receiving end. And here comes Mr. Rugland with a long attempt.
Hobart. Chip shot. You can kick it up on a train trestle. This is nothing.
This should be no issue. It'll be a 49-yarder.
Oh, the Kickalicious fans are in the house.
They know it. They know who they're looking at right here.
Now they need the goalpost to move along the back end of the end
Where's
zone.
the train behind the goalposts? No doubt. Very cool.
Look at the team. Look at the sidelines. Look at the shot. All his teammates are running out on the field. It's like when your 8-year-old son gets his first touchdown.
And Stephen Tullen holds him up.
You know, they just say he has just endearing personality. Not much of a follow-through even, just a pop on the ball.
It's like a chip shot for him.
I tell you, he's learned the NFL celebration pretty quick, though. A little chest bump pounding
Had to have watched a little bit of it, right?
Depends how far north of Norway he was.
Well, we talked earlier in the broadcast about Jim Schwartz saying that he's passed every test. He just passed that test. Don't you think, Tom Lydon?
Point something out for you guys. David Akers is a class act. That entire drive, he was in Hovar's ear, letting him know, second down, third down, get ready. They're going to need you. Get in position. I stood right next to him as he kicked that field goal. David was clapping with all the rest of his teammates. Class act.
No doubt. They do root for one another because he wants them to be successful.
No, absolutely. And you become really good friends on the golf course when all the players are practicing every day and you're golfing.
There is that chipping green that you and I tested
I tell
yesterday.
you, I saw Jimmy Arnold and Eddie Murray. 11 o'clock was curfew. 11:05. They were heading out every night.
Jets will try and return this one, and they get it to about the 22-yard line.
Showed Eddie he'd lower his handicap about 2 strokes during training camp.
I played golf with Eddie Murray early in the week.
Yeah, he's good. Well, yeah,
he's not bad.
We were practicing every day. He was golfing. Yeah, no kidding. Got Eddie's number. You got to come down. Oh, don't return the ball too far.
What's it like with those big bodies coming your way? I'll be that last line of defense.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to come here. He's
learned that
talking
too.
trash
Yeah.
right there.
2:08 left to go in the third. Greg McElroy remains in there for the Jets. He's led him on one touchdown drive. They'll roll the pocket.
Oh, there's a takedown.
Braylon Edwards, and he's upended at the 39-yard line. Good hit there by Brandon King.
Look at 95 and little Naagabu just get taken down. I don't know how you don't call that. That's just he got tackled from behind. Is that correct? Nagbo? I don't know. He's a Sparty. I should be able to pronounce it, but you have too many consonants in your name. I struggle with it.
It's Nuagbo. That's all right.
Close.
McElroy.
Oh, man.
Oh, almost laying out and making the grab. Good coverage by King downfield. The intended receiver there for the Jets was Ryan Spadola.
But McElroy, I tell you, he's carving out a nice. He's, once again, they keep two quarterbacks. Got to believe they're going to say with Geno Smith, but this young man out of Alabama, this is a strike. You wonder if Spadola could take it one more step. You want to coach your guys up. You go faster with your feet on the ground than you do diving in the air.
Now we have an injured offensive lineman for the Jets. These are the things you just hate to see right here. Guys working so hard for so long to try and make a squad. And
Matt, you made the call right after the call. Brandon King really in good position. That ball was well thrown. Spadola laid out for it. Rick McElroy.
Dennis Landolt being helped to his feet. First-year pro out of Penn State.
This gesture by the Lion fans, giving him a big hand. Also, they're showing, I think, at the same time, Ruglin up on the big screen. But, fans have become much more educated, I think, over the years, Matt, of the NFL and how physical and basically violent it can be. And they understand these guys put themselves in harm's way each and every Sunday when they come and watch them. And it's a tough way to make a living. It can be a great way to make a living, but it's tough.
Especially those guys inside. I mean, that's... You and I talked to so many people. I was talking with Reggie McKenzie the other day, and of course he was great for the line in Buffalo, the block for O.J. Simpson, the elbows and the shoulders oftentimes are problems, for these guys, which we don't always remember. We always think of the knees and the legs and things of that nature. When you're pushing up against that wall, on a regular basis, those shoulders and elbows can give.
Yeah, the Lions defense gives a little bit here. A screen pass, a good job. Lions are bringing a lot of pressure inside, and this time they just bring Chad Spann. Is that the Northern Illinois? Is that where he's from? Is he the former Northern Illinois Husky?
He is, yes.
Yeah, I remember watching him in the MAC.
Very good player, absolutely. And here it is again.
Good call by Marty Morningwig on that last play, Matt. This defensive line of the Lions is taking advantage and having their way with the offensive line of the Jets. And one way to negate that is bring the screen game into play.
McElroy has guided this offense inside the Lions 35 to the 33. Under a half minute to go here in the third. Spann the lone tailback. Good play action. Across the middle and incomplete. I like the way McElroy uses his feet. He steps up, he sidesteps his way. You don't always have to be fast, do you? You just have to be nimble.
No, Tom Brady's not fast. Peyton Manning's not fast. What you have to have is a pocket sense. You have to know where the pressure and feel it. And all sometimes it takes is a half a step up or a half a step to the right. You can buy yourself another second or two, and then you can use your vision down the field.
As long as you keep your eyes downfield.
Yes.
That sometimes is the most challenging part. 3rd down and 5 for McElroy. Boy, he is drilled. I mean, he is getting beat up. That defensive line is giving that offensive line all kinds of problems. Another good play, another presence felt by O.G. Nuagbo.
Well, Nuagbo, we called his name earlier. He's winning up front. And that's why we saw the screen in this series, but you just can't throw screens every play. The Lions' defensive line doing a nice job. Well, you know, we've got a little bit of a kicking battle going on in New York here, too.
Nick Folk is back out there for this 51-yard attempt. And he's got it. We've seen some really good kicking here tonight. It may not excite many fans, but it'll excite some general managers and head coaches. It's down to a 6-point edge for the Lions as we head down the stretch to the fourth quarter at Ford Field on the Lions television network. Lions lead is trimmed to a touchdown. Tom Lydon has Reggie Bush downstairs. Tom?
Thanks very much, Matt. Well, Reggie obviously did your hurdler stretches tonight. That had to feel pretty good out there.
It felt good. You know, it felt good to get my feet wet, get a feel for the Lions Stadium, and you know, get out there with my teammates and just try to establish a rhythm. Felt like all in all, you know, we made some mistakes, but we did some good things, and that's what preseason is for. Is just kind of see where you're at, and you know, so hopefully we can learn from this and, you know, just try to get better next game.
It's the third franchise you've been with in the National Football League. What was your first impression of Lions when you walked into the dressing room, and has that changed at all in the weeks and months since?
You know, it's been good. You know, I've enjoyed it. This is actually my first time in the stadium, so you know, it's big, it's nice. You know, I'm enjoying being in here. The fans are amazing. You know, so I'm enjoying the whole experience so far, and look forward to many more games.
Everyone's looking forward to watching you play.
Yes,
so thanks for a quick minute.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. That's Reggie Bush. Matt, back to you.
Tom, he's really impressive. He said earlier this year, by the way, this is the most talented roster he's ever been on, but big fan of Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, and Eddie George. He told me he never had enough money to buy their jerseys, but he had all their cards. But what's impressed him most about Detroit is the Detroiters. He says down-to-earth people who work hard, and he's that kind of guy. Even though we view him as a Hollywood-esque type guy, because recently he was down in Florida and Miami, and he was in Los Angeles, of course, with USC. He says, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm closer to the people here in the Midwest and here in this town than anything else. Good catch and run by Chris Durham.
Now, we saw Chris at the end of last season.
Yep.
When the Lions were pretty depleted at the receiving court, he had an opportunity to get some starts for the Lions. But this is just using that big body. We talked about Breland Edwards doing it. He sheds the corner early. They're sitting in the zone, and he runs through the zone, gets to the other side, but he can't do that unless the offensive line gives Kellen more time, and they did just that.
Durham has made some really quality catches in training camp. More on a give. Theo Riddick hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. They give him a yard at 2nd down and 9. Austin to the 44 after a gain of 7.
Lions running some cluster. You see the 3 receivers. 2 go inside. Austin leaks to the outside. If not 2 defenders there, he might have made a bigger play, but he still was able to get enough yards up at 3rd down and very manageable. 2 yards to go. Kellen Moore trying to really put a drive together. Lions have not had a touchdown scoring drive yet today. Is that correct, Matt?
No, Sean Hill guided them.
Oh, that's right.
Good
nice
pass and catch. Better catch than anything else by Sean Chappis, but there is a flag on the play.
I thought he got a tough spot. I thought he stretched out a little bit farther than that. It's going to be against the Lions. You can see by the referee indicating.
It will be 4th down if they choose to decline it.
You know, Sean Chappis is an interesting case.
Illegal shift. 2 players in the offense moving at the same time and never reset prior to the snap. This penalty has been declined. The result of the play creates 4th down.
Who knows? I think you got 4th down inches. Go for it.
Sure, why not?
Talk about Sean Chappis. I think he is he the only true fullback in camp? And I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying?
Montel Owens probably too.
A little bit, yeah. Really? They list him as a fullback? He's pretty small. He's good really good special teams player. I mean, you look at his career stats. It's been like 6-7 years.
Yeah, no, you're probably
like 300 yards rushing. So that tells you that he's a phenomenal teams player.
Will end around and plenty of room for Mike Thomas. The first down and no more.
Scott Linehan pulling on all the stops in preseason. 4th down and inches, and you run a end around to your speedy receiver, Mike Thomas. Pretty well executed. You see the left side of the line blocking down, a good seal block by Chappis. And Chappis gives enough room, and Thomas is able to move the chains and keep that clock ticking. Scott Linehan will be going to Idaho in the fall to play quarterback. Former Orchard Lake St. Mary's Eagle.
Yep. Riddick.
Ooh, nice.
Cut it up. Nice job as he squeezed his way inside the 30. He found that hole quickly, didn't he?
You look at Derek Hardman, the right tackle. We're going to pause this in the beginning. This is just like a zone play. Let's watch him get outside here. All right, let it run. You're going to see him get a body on a body. Hardman, this is zone. Keep working to the outside, past the inside guy outside, and that's what they did. You have a tendency to want to start looking for a body, but if you're running zone, it's all zone. You just keep working. The back will work with you, and until someone crosses your face, you don't pick up a color.
Tight end Joseph Fourier out there doing a nice job blocking too. More known for his receiving ability, but a good block there as Moore goes to work on 2nd and short. He throws, and it's caught by Austin for a first down. Important there because he made sure he drove the corner off and got enough yardage for the first down.
And Kellen Moore, as you said by Austin, nice job. But watch Kellen Moore. As he steps into this throw, you see why the Lions took a chance with him. Given time, he's a very accurate passer. We saw that in his career at Boise State. He can get the open man. I guess the question is, can he buy time, and is he physical enough to take the pounding at this level?
1st and 10 for him. Riddick. And a flag on the play.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Offense, number 72. 15-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Well, that's a tough one. Holtz, left tackle.
Yeah.
We're going to get a look at this or not, but man, you're going to have 2nd down and probably 9 or 8. Instead, you're looking at 1st and 25.
You see the difference in the first half to the second half for Detroit with those miscues.
A lot of penalties are when your talent level goes down, as it does obviously when you put 2nds and 3rds in. And the guys are getting beat. They're fighting for their life, and all of a sudden you grab a face mask as the guy's going by you.
Fumble on a snap, and Moore quickly covers it up. It's Rodney Austin showing the frustration. A loss of 3 on the play. Rodney Austin, they've moved him around a little bit. Guard last year, and on the practice squad, and now they've given him some snaps at center, which he welcomes because, you know, versatility means more valuable, right? A lot of times for backups. Worked out with Dominic Raiola and Rob Sims in the offseason. He says they have a different approach to strength training. Build up that muscle endurance. Slant by Thomas, and he's drilled. Holds on, though, but a good tackle by Darren Walls.
Well, he's trying to extend that 6-point lead to 9. I got to believe they're in Kickalicious field goal range. This is just a double slant. The 2 outside receivers. Kellen throws, the first inside receiver clears, and the other one comes in and gets it behind as you move coverage out of the way with the first route.
3rd and 20. Blitz comes, and Riddick can't hold on.
That's a heck of a throw by Kellen Moore. They ran the screen. The screen, it's a timing play for the fact that you can't let your guys go so clean that a quarterback in the back can't get there in time to set it up. And he realized, he tries buying time by lobbing the ball in the air and trying to let Riddick run underneath it. Takes a shot in doing so, but worked down and be a 50-yard field goal attempt by Ruglin.
Well within his range. We've seen 58-yarders in practice.
He missed that too. He missed that, and he knows it. when you have that much pop in your leg, man, I'm telling you, when that ball's spinning like that, you know you didn't get all of it, but he got just enough of it to give the Lions a 9-point lead.
A couple of field goals by David Akers and a couple of field goals by Håvard Rugland. And the Lions now are back in front 26-17. One defensive touchdown for the Lions, one offensive touchdown on the preseason opening night. 2 yards deep, the Jets will bring it out, and they stumble to the 15-yard line, balancing up and crawling coast to the 20-yard line. 9:36 left to go in the preseason opener. Detroit trying to hang on. Here's tonight's game summary brought to you by the Ford Motor Company. Rob, the new guys have really made an impact.
Well, it starts with Reggie Bush electrifying the crowd with the little hurdle action we saw early on in the game, one of his couple carries. And then it continues with Iggy Ansah coming in here, getting the interception on the near screen, running it in for a touchdown. But the new guys just keep on clicking. Glover Quinn almost gets an interception here, but once again, we talk about him, the type of player, he's always in right position. And continues David Akers showing the big leg that we've seen over the years in his NFL career. Making a field goal. We'll get back to it in a little bit here because a lot of impact by the new men on the block.
Akers with a 47-yarder and a 35-yarder. McElroy up top, has a man wide open. Oh, he dropped it. Zach Rogers was wide open. But let it come into his belly, and all he can do is wonder, what did I just do?
Well, there was a holding call. Still no solace to Rodgers. He wants to make that play. A little play action here. The corner bites, a pump fake, double move outside. Rodgers does everything but catch the football. He makes a good move. He's able to beat Brandon King. But a holding call in the backfield would have nullified the play even if it was completed.
Well, you constantly teach us catch it with your hands. That comes all the way into the belly and took his eye off it. Had a touchdown catch earlier, but we'll be thinking about that one for a while. McElroy in a deep hole. Needs 20. He'll get back to the 15-yard line. 5 yards shy of the original line of scrimmage.
Adrian Moulton coming up in his linebacker position, putting a good lick on the ball carry.
By the way, we saw David Akers 2 field goals, or one of them anyway, the 47 and 35-yard. Rugland has one from 49 and 50.
Well, the one from 49 would have been good from maybe 59. The one from 50 would have been good from 50 and 1/2.
2nd and 14 for McElroy and the Jets. Across the middle. There's a good grab. Pretty good throw, too.
Marty Morningwig, the offensive coordinator, is really exploiting the middle of this Lions defense. They've got a lot of completions over the course of this game down in between the hashes.
Chris Pantail on the receiving end of that toss, and it's good enough for a first down. McElroy again down the middle, this time behind Pantail. It's the rookie out of BC, tight end. Rex Ryan sometimes got to look out there and go, where are my weapons? Right? Seriously.
That's a great point, Matt. You don't see it in the backfield, the running back. You don't see it with the quarterbacks, and you don't see it with the receiving core. I mean, I like Kellen Winslow Jr. I think he's a solid NFL tight end. But I just don't see the speed outside. I don't see the physical tight ends that seem to be the trend. The bigger tight ends, you have your, some of your athletic ones, but man, the Jason Wittens of the world is what everyone covets. The big body who can block and who can also get down the field and drop Gronkowski.
But let's be honest, Rex Ryan's clubs have won primarily because of defense. Top 10 defense in each of his first four seasons. But somehow, some way, Mark Sanchez, Geno Smith, Greg McElroy, whoever is under center for this offense is going to have to find some skill guys to keep a defense honest. That slant route is incomplete. KJ Stroud, the intended receiver.
Good job by Martavius Nullums on the play, number 47. We get a look here, just man press, rolling the dice, 3rd down. And you want to evaluate a defensive back in this league? That's how you do it. You play man press, and you'll find out really quick if this guy can make it at this level. A lot of zone in college, so you never know what you're getting. It's a hard position to evaluate, but show them a little bit of press, and I think that's why the Lions are doing it in that situation.
Stephen Miller dropped at about the 11-yard line. The rookie out of Appalachian State trying to make this team as a special teamer. 7.5 to go with Detroit up by 9. Hey, Lions fans, join the Detroit Lions and the Detroit Economic Club for the 17th annual kickoff luncheon on Wednesday, August 28th at Ford Field. The program will feature a discussion panel that includes head coach Jim Schwartz and team president Tom Lawan. Tickets are on sale right now and can be purchased exclusively through the DEC website. That's econclub.org. 7.5 remaining in this one. Kellen Moore back under center. Theo Riddick, while at Notre Dame, rushed for almost 1,200 yards. 5 touchdowns, was an honorable mention All-American. Nate Burleson decked out in some new jewelry.
That's like a year's teacher's salary right there, probably.
That is a Detroit Lion. That shows his passion and his love for the area. And that is also staged.
And his W-2s are bigger than mine.
He's a really good dude.
Great guy. Love him on our Sunday show.
He is a go-to guy. Is he not? He's a go-to guy. There's Fourier on the receiving end of that Kellen Moore pass.
Number 47.
Welcome in Tom Lydon. Tommy?
Yep, I was just talking to Nate, and he pointed out that earring. And he said some people follow the trend, some people set them.
Okay. Where is your earring then?
Evidently, he didn't pick one up for me, so I'm going to have to go shopping after the game.
It's jumped right through his ear. Look at that. The backing is the back end of the Lion.
He was just showing it off to all of his teammates. They were all very impressed.
So am I. Very impressed. He really views Detroit as his second home.
5-yard penalty.
He loves it here. He really does. I mean, it's really important for him to stay as involved as he does. And Tom, we go out and play in that softball game that he and Stephen Tulloch have every summer. It's a big deal to him to give back to the community, don't you think?
And he's undefeated too, which is also very important.
He stacks the team.
I think
he does.
You know what?
Yeah.
Last summer, he must have hit 3 homers off me.
I've come to learn that defensive linemen, while they may be very, very powerful and strong and can move a lot of bodies,
not good.
Not the greatest softball players.
I don't disagree with that. Of course, your glove, I don't know, man. You got one of those gloves that are just kind of wacky. That was a throw and incomplete, intended for Chad Schillens. Schillens used to play for this Jet squad. Another flag in the play.
We had offsides on the defense line. We have another crack at it. In this series, Shep, we saw
defense number 55 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 3rd down.
We saw Joseph Fourier, number 47, make a catch, and then the last series when the Jets had the ball, we saw number 47, Martavius Nellums. There's jumping into the neutral zone. A good job. Lions have got the Jets, I think, 3 times. You see the double numbers in training camp sometimes on offense and defense.
What was your number in camp? When you first got it, I know you were 84. What was your original number?
I was 92, which pretty much sends a message you will not be here.
That's like being 68 in baseball,
right,
isn't it?
Yeah.
You say thanks, I think. Quick slant to Thomas. He spun around at the 21-yard line. They'll be shy of the first down.
All the other 90s were on defense, and they gave me a 92. And
that's nothing against Devin Taylor, who's 92, or Cliff Averill, who wore 92.
Absolutely.
They didn't play tight end.
No.
Right. Tight ends are supposed to be in the 80s.
I'm just glad I got rid of it. I'm not a big fan of a 90 number.
I don't blame you.
Not a lot of great tight ends wore 92 that I can remember in the NFL.
Can't think of any. Decent downfield coverage by the Lions to make the tackle. That's an area that they're hoping to improve on from last year, right? I will say this about Jim Schwartz. He has made a conscious effort to try and bring back more Lions alumni. In camp earlier this year, Al Bubba Baker, one of the best sack artists of this franchise ever. Now, he wore number 80 here, but he really...
It's like my 92.
Yeah, it was really number 60, right?
Well,
could that guy play or what? And that guy could get after the quarterback.
Like none other.
Yeah, I mean, he was really good. We've had some really good D tackles. Doug English, for one. would be come to mind, but defensive ends, this is the guy that really set the standard. It was Al Bubba Baker.
We get a chance, I'll tell you my thoughts on Bubba. We got a little footage we want to show as well.
McElroy tripped up from behind.
I think it's Jimmy Sadler McQueen. Here's a look. He's going to come from the high side. Gets cut up in a little bit of a wash, but he keeps fighting through it. Shoestring tackle.
Lions are his 5th team that he's trying to make. Houston, Jacksonville, Dallas, and Chicago. McElroy to throw. Austin, minimal gain. But getting back to Al Bubba Baker, he was in camp not too long ago. He had a chance firsthand to look at the defensive line, the defense as a whole. He was really impressed. Here's what he had to tell us.
You have more talent on this team than ever amassed. What I saw in that defensive line room yesterday, I got a man crush on Sue. I mean, that's my guy. I mean, if I was the starter football team, he'd be my first player. I mean, he'd be the first player I took, and I watched him yesterday. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that since Randy White. I mean, Randy White's a Hall of Famer. I have not seen a defensive lineman like that. But the talent that's in the room that I saw is a mixture. You know, young guys, new guys, and then Ziggy reminds me a lot of myself. I wasn't as fast as him, but that range, the long arms, there's a whole lot a guy like that when he comes around. And you watch what I tell you, he's in a good place. Because from what I understand from his coach, they're just going to tell him to do one thing. Sick him.
Sick him. That's great.
That is great. It was a fun visit with Al Bubba Baker. But the numbers he put up just astounding. You saw 78 Rookie of the Year.
Stephen Miller, speaking of rookies there, the Appalachian State. You know, getting back to Bubba, I can remember my rookie year. The first time when we were in for about a week with the rookies and the vets came in, they put the pads on. I can remember when Bubba walked on the field as a defensive end, I lined up across, I thought, I didn't know God made men this big. I swear to God, his legs came to the middle of my chest when he stood up, and he went like in that wide 9. And I'm thinking, I'm glad I'm running out on a pass pattern because I would hate to have to block him. But I think Bubba Baker to this day is so underrated. You know, because a lot of his sacks were before they started keeping as an official stat, but for 1 or 2 years, he was unblockable.
Miller again gets the call.
The new quarterback for the Lions.
You know, people also forget, Al Bubba Baker was a 2nd-round draft pick out of college.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was, you know, remember, he was a basketball player as well. Very great athlete. I'm going to use the word great because he wasn't just a basketball player. He was a very productive good basketball player, and you put him on the football field. See, that's when you see it a lot now, Matt, with tight ends and D ends. There's a look at former team. You know what? Thank God I get that what is that hair for men stuff? Because look at Dexter, DB. I played with him.
You know what? He looks good in good.
Oh, DB looks good every day.
Yeah.
What a kind man.
Good man. He and Charlie Sanders, really good friends. We'll always enjoy the visit we have with them before our broadcast as Thad Lewis takes off and gets to the 30. By the way, closing thought on Al Bubba Baker. He was the 2nd-round pick. Some people may be wondering who was the 1st-rounder. It was Luther Bradley out of Notre Dame. We've got 2 minutes left in the preseason opener. Detroit's going to win it. They were up by 9. 2 minutes left in this one. Let's take a look at the stats so far, brought to us by Comerica Bank.
Well, the Lions started a little bit slow in the first half with the stats, but you can see they've closed the gap quite a bit.
Well, at least they haven't turned it over.
Well, that's big. Turnovers and penalties, two things as a coach you want to really be successful with in the preseason as well as the regular season.
30 giveaways a year ago by Detroit. 30. That ranked 30th in the league. So that has to improve. That will be one of those things you're going to look at for sure.
And that is the most telling stat in football. There's no question. You can talk about every type of stat, time of possession, with the exception of the scoreboard. But any other stat, offensive rushing yards, passing yards, whatever it is, turnovers is the most single telling stat that either determines wins or losses in football games.
17 picks a year ago, 16 fumbles lost.
The year before, remember they did so well in the
plus 11,
right?
Yeah. And their defense scored too. You remember in Dallas when Chris Houston had a pick six, when Bobby Carpenter had a pick six that led Detroit to that comeback win against the Cowboys. So this is a good start because, as Jim Schwartz told us, look, you always want to win the games. You also want to be able to build upon things. Detroit will be able to accomplish both those.
And a lot of coachable moments on film that Jim Schwartz and staff will be able to look at and utilize. And maybe the most important thing, Matt, no injuries that we know of to date for the Lions. No one being carted off the field. And the preseason is time for evaluation, time for improvement, but it's a time you need to stay healthy, especially with your ones and twos.
Sean Hill, very impressive. The defense forced a couple of cough-ups, including the rookie, Ziggy Ansah. An interception return for score to get Detroit off on the right foot. And the preseason begins with a 26-17 victory over the New York Jets here at Ford Field. Stafford and Sanchez goes both in the same draft class. One was the first overall pick, Stafford. Sanchez the fifth. One faces a great deal more of scrutiny because of the pressure behind him on his backup quarterback. Matt Stafford and the Lions victorious on this Friday night in downtown Detroit, 26-17. Stay right there. Plenty to come on the postgame show. Tom Lydon, Rob Rubik, and yours truly right after this.